Oh man, did you expect the American Dad episode to pop off like it did? Did you expect that?
Nah, nah, no way, no way, no way.
No, we only covered 7 episodes, and it is like one of our most viewed YouTube epidodes.
Yeah, I hope
It's
the people don't feel
amazing.
gypped the fact that we only cover the first 7, but
I
you know,
also hope that. I really hope that. I also don't know how we're going to cover it next, like, because it's like a confusing thing where it's like, well, are we? I mean, we did the first broadcast season, but if we do broadcast seasons, it's going to get all jacked up with that weird 3-episode season that they have,
right.
that 3-episode broadcast season. Should we just do the remainder of season 1? And be like, season 1, part 2. And I don't know, like, it's just...
Damn, we kind of fucked American Dad up the more I think
we kind of
about
fucked it up, and now it's popping off, and now we don't know what to do. Now we don't.
Yeah,
I
we
was just
kinda
assumed we
fucked it
wouldn't
up.
have to deal with it for a while. I just assumed we wouldn't
Right.
have to think about it for a while. But as it turns out, you all fucking love American Dad. You really wanted us to talk about it. I don't know if you liked it or are disappointed or what, but... And it's also a pretty good thumbnail. I worked pretty hard to make that thumbnail happen.
It was a good thumbnail.
It took a lot of finagling of the DVD box art. I basically had to recreate the sides to make it extend out. I had to recreate the whole fucking thing, and it worked pretty good. But I have no idea what I'm going to do for the next one.
This is guerrilla filmmaking right here.
What are you doing? Are you going to show it off? Show it off?
Well, I can't because the thing I'm looking at has all of our analytics on it and shit, so I can't turn the phone.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You guys can't see it. It's okay. You guys can just go look at it on our page.
We'll never leak the numbers.
It took a lot of work. Probably some of the most amount of time I've spent on our thumbnails for this channel. Like real up there, really high up there.
Man, which one did I do? I did I've only done one of these thumbnails.
One of the home movies.
It killed me. It was
But to be fair, the home movies ones were particularly difficult. We only had low res images, and also I didn't send you like the proper thumbnail like asset to make everything work. I think I actually went in to like make it more uniform with the other ones, just because like it wasn't your fault. It was because I didn't send you the shit that you needed to do it. and so like, but it's like I think you did a great job with it. Was that season 3 or season?
I think it was this third one when they're on the ship.
Yeah, season 3. That's right. So like I went in and I added in like the film strip stuff at the top.
Oh
like,
yeah, I definitely
that kind of
didn't
stuff.
do that. You're right.
Yeah,
I didn't do that.
and that's my fault. Like it's because I was out of town and I sent you a template, but it wasn't a home movies template because I didn't have it on me, and so like. Yeah, it was a whole thing. But that was the infamous Legend of Bagger McGurk. a great episode.
Sick, bro. I was so mad they were doing Bagger Vance because that's such a random thing to do.
I love it. But they're doing golf. I don't know. It made me laugh. Honestly, in retrospect, it makes me laugh even more. It makes me laugh even more. It's so funny that they did that. But yeah, man, sometimes like when we do it for the Patreon, I kind of get a little lazy with the thumbnails. I'm just like, there's only about 170 of you guys seeing this, and hopefully more soon. Plug. But I still work on them. I still make them. I still make sure they look nice. But I work a lot harder on the ones that hit the main feed. Like this Family Guy one was a pain in the ass. South Park one was okay. The American Dad one was a pain in the ass. King of the Hill one was tough, but not as big of a pain. The Simpsons one was hard to find the assets I needed to make it. Yeah. But I think it turned out really nice. Yeah, these are good. Like these home movies ones are good. The Archers are nice. I'm proud of the Archer ones. I'm very proud of the Archer ones, especially because we had to do an extra one. Because we did Heart of Archness, and I think that one looks really nice too.
Yeah, you had to raw dog that one. It didn't even have like a
No, I literally had to use a background and cut out a frame of Archer from it, and I think these all look. I think they all look really nice. Those are some of our best looking. The Futurama ones are great, especially that Beast with a Billion Backs. Oh my God, Into the Wild Green Yonder. Those
I'm about to say, that's the one. That's the one I'm looking at.
Into the Wild Green Yonder.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that one. I think I like Beast with a Billion Backs a little more, but that's good stuff. I feel like
speaking of Beast with a Billion Backs, I have the
yeah.
poster to that hanging in my living room now.
Love that poster, dude. Love it.
Great
the art
poster.
style from that DVD and the poster that they did. Oh, so
crazy,
good. So
crazy.
good.
I don't have the you can't see it back here, but it's because it's over here. But I have I brought a Bob's Burgers movie poster.
Hell yeah, you did, because you're obsessed with it and you've watched it 12 times already.
Yeah. Well, maybe cut that number in half to 6, but that's still a lot of fucking
That's still
time.
a lot since we watched it for the first time together a few months ago.
Yeah, that was May.
Yeah, I think so. Man,
yeah.
These Rick and Morty thumbs are pretty good, except I'm looking at like my Rick and Morty season 3 thumb. That's garbage. It's a garbage thumbnail. I really fucked that one up. It's bad.
look at the pickle.
It's terrible. It's so bad. It's such a bad thumbnail. We need a different background on that one, I think. Seasons 1, 2, 4, and 5 look great though.
5 is crazy.
Yeah, 5 is great. We're gonna have to do season 6, dude. We're gonna have to do season 6 soon.
That's what made me start to watch it, because I wasn't gonna fucking watch it.
You're gonna be so mad if you had to binge it for the first time. All at once.
That
you have such a bad time when you binge that show.
That would have stunk on fucking ice. Because the show came out and then I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. No, okay, people like it. That's cool. And then like before I knew it, a week went by, and then the next one was out, and I was like, oh, am I just gonna not watch Rick and Morty? Right. And then that's when you and Kevin were like, nah, but the podcast, and I was like, fuck, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we got to cover it when it comes out. We got to see how it does. We got a lot of action for that first one. Yeah, sorry for this cold open being inside baseball, inside cartoons that curse. We did this on the Patreon too, and then we were like, we shouldn't do that so much, and now we're like doing it again immediately.
We kind of
literally immediately. We did. You know what? Let's talk. Let's go to the Patreon. Let's give some inside baseball on the Patreon. Read some of these excellent comments we have from some of our wonderful cursed ones, the patrons who are of course known as the cursed ones. This is my favorite comment we've gotten in a long time. It's on our basketball episode. This is from George. George says, "Penis."
Oh wow!
Pretty insightful, George.
I never thought of it like that.
Big fan. Honestly, and when it comes to basketball, I get it. I do.
Yeah. Like, it's a bit controversial, but like, you know, I see where it's a real brave position he's taken.
I know. And then like publicly like that too. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
On a platform. Wow.
Amazing. Let's see what else we got. Not many comments on our Orgasmo episode. Someone said they did not like it as much as Cannibal. You know what? Let's look at some comments on our American Dad post.
Ooh.
And let's see if we got some good ones. We'll just bringing it back. Thanks for all the support on the American Dad episode. So many views on our YouTube channel for that one. It's like our 7th most viewed episode total already. It's gonna pass King of the Hill, which is crazy because that was monumentally successful. Probably won't pass Simpsons, but is doing pretty great. Let's see here. We got one. You know what? This is a guy named Crystal says about what they want us to cover on the After Dark episodes. This kind of relates to you, Tariq. It super relates to you. It says, I actually grew up seeing the animated Alvin and the Chipmunks movies a few times, so I think these would be cool to see as After Dark episodes, especially the Wolfman and Frankenstein movies around Halloween.
You mean the good ones?
The good ones. Those are the good ones. Yeah. I would love to cover Alvin and the Chipmunks, but I would like to humbly request that we only cover the bad ones. No good ones.
You know what? So I think that you'll like the 3 animated ones. I think that you'll like all 3. I think there's one that you'll really like, which is the Wolfman one. I think you'll really like that one. But
cool.
Like Chipmunk Adventure and Frankenstein, I think you'll like those.
Hell yeah.
I did a video on those 3 years ago.
I don't think I've ever watched those videos yet, so I'll watch those specials and then I'll watch your videos.
Yeah, it was.
And then I'll get I'll have all my own original thoughts for when we cover it on the podcast.
That's right. Yeah, you're gonna come in talking about musicality and all that shit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna drop all of the points you make in your videos, right, like they're mine.
I totally watched it, man. Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, totally. Okay, this is an interesting one from Swift Nipples. Love your name.
Nice.
Swift Nipples. So this is in regards to us talking about the alternate ending to King of the Hill, where we find out it all takes place in a year.
Right.
But there is a little bit about this that doesn't necessarily track, but I get the idea. They say the 1 year time frame for King of the Hill is especially wild if it includes season 13, because it means Luann married Lucky like 2 months after Buckley's death, since she'd been pregnant because she'd been pregnant for 9 months, and then has the kid in season 13. There are two full birth cycles. If all 13 seasons are 1 year, doesn't make sense. There's 2 full birth cycles. There's Good Hank and then there's Gracie. Doesn't track. But to be fair, that was a season 11 revelation. I don't think they and it's still not canon. It was like an alternate ending. It was an alternate ending.
Right. But it's just sick to think about.
I know, it doesn't make sense. None of it makes any sense at all. Oh man. This person says, Ariel White says, I've seen every episode of American Dad. There's a tone change damn near every time they come back from cancellation or move networks. Yeah, isn't that just once?
No. Well,
they almost,
I guess
they get canceled and come back and then move networks again.
I guess it is only once that I think about it. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
So every single time, baby.
But
I think that's.
I would argue the tone shift was sooner than that, to be honest with you. Like,
I believe it.
It was already different than how it came in by the time it moved to TBS. But I will agree though that like the switch to TBS, something happened. That shit is crazy.
We got a comment from Fiend Felrose about American Dad season 1. Says, I'm excited for season 2's because that is normally when things are established, but I'm also curious over Toon's thoughts on season 1 BoJack. Yeah, I get it. Everyone wants to know Toonerific Tariq's thoughts on season 1 of BoJack.
Gee whiz. I like if we put BoJack on the other day, like starting from the beginning. So I saw the pilot and
you've been fresh. BoJack. You watched it fresh.
I watched according to Johnny Two Cellos, I watched the 2 worst episodes.
The 3? Oh, you watched the first 2. Yeah. Those are the 2 worst episodes, in my humble opinion. But also according to Raphael Bob Waxberg, creator of BoJack Horseman, he says the first one he does not like. He says it in the commentary. But here's the thing: where we want to figure out BoJack. I know all of my viewers really want us to do BoJack, and I get it because, I get it. I'm known for that stuff. I know. Tariq, you were on my 1 year, my 1 year anniversary of the finale stream. Mm-hmm. We got to talk about it there. I think we just we got to figure out, it's going to be a tough show to cover. It's really dense. And can we, if we do a full season per episode, I feel like we're going to have so much to say. I feel like those are going to be long.
I think we should slack a cat's in, man. I don't think we should go one by one with a show like that. But
even if we do that, there's so much. I agree. We don't necessarily need to be how do you feel about this episode and this episode and this episode? But their journeys are very much sequential. You know what I mean? It's important for us to go in order. Part of me is man, we could probably, if we could for BoJack, we could switch to episodic. We could switch for a year and just be we're going to cover every episode of BoJack Horseman once a week. I know, it's sick, but we could do it. And we could also get great guests. We could get so many good guests if we did that. But I don't know. There's already other podcasts that do that. I was also thinking do we do 4 episodes at a time? So we do three episodes per season or whatever. I don't know. I just feel like I have too much. We're going to have too much to say about that show. And also I do really want to get, I know for a fact, not for a fact. I have a real inkling that there are some cool big name guests I could get to come join us for a BoJack pod.
Nice.
And part of me is do I really want to ask someone to come talk to us for 4 hours about one season of BoJack Horseman? Or do I want to say, what if we did these 4 episodes and you could talk for an hour and a half to 2 hours about BoJack Horseman? I don't know. I'm thinking a lot about it. Maybe we'll do a spin-off podcast. Maybe we'll do a whole spin-off
for BoJack,
just for BoJack. But the BoJack Horse Pod, great podcast. Shout out to them. They just wrapped up. They just finished. There's a vacuum. There's a BoJack vacuum, a BoJack fume, if you will, a BoJackume.
If you will. I won't personally, but if you will, yeah, sure.
You're gonna come around. I can feel it. Oh man. Here's one of my favorite comments we've ever gotten. This is on our Slacker Cats episode from Jack Baker. He said, "How dare y'all actually make me watch Slacker Cats for this?"
Jeez, I'm sorry.
This is a good episode. Also, we're gonna have we talked about how the Slacker Cats episode popped off too? 13,000 views on YouTube for Slacker Cats. What?
Yeah, you guys laughed at me,
but you laughed me out. Ate it up. I laughed at you.
They laughed me out.
I laughed at you, and we sat on that episode for months. We sat on it for months, Tariq.
Yep.
It is.
I had to the point where like I had to rewatch it when it came out because I couldn't remember what the fuck we said in it. Like I remember doing it, but I don't remember what we said. I remember having to rewatch it, and it was like
it's insane. It's our 10th most viewed episode on YouTube. 10th most viewed, and it is above every season of Rick and Morty except for season 1.
They
every
fucking
single
laughed at me, man. But it is what it is.
It's above Family Guy. It got more than Family Guy. It got more than South Park.
Come on, man.
It got more than the South Park movie. It got more than any of the Futurama movies.
What that shows me is there's a market for Slacker Cats talk. It's just not when I do it by myself. But when I do it with somebody else, there's a market for it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like that's great. It's great in relation to our other episodes, but you got a lot more views on your Slacker Cats vid. 83K, that's pretty good.
But I think good. When it's comparable to my numbers and our numbers here, you see what I'm saying?
Like it's all about like the ratio. It's all about
exactly.
Yeah. You're right. It is shockingly successful here on
whatever that is going past my house is really loud.
I can't hear it at all.
Okay,
also, I left my AC on. You can't hear that, can you? I hope not.
I just broke whatever wall this is then.
All right. Well, maybe we should say
give them a little box.
Thank you all. Yeah, we should do it. I just want to say thank you all to the patrons who support us. We're going to keep reading your comments. We forgot to do it this week, but we're going to continue to ask you guys on the Patreon your thoughts about a season of television before we cover it so that we can then read off your thoughts and comments before we go into the season. I think that's a great way to use a segment here on the show, maybe do the cold open. So if you're interested in doing that, sign up for the Patreon. We have so many bonus episodes on there. How many do we even have at this point? It's like 20. I think Basketball might have been 20. That's crazy. Hold on, let's look at this. Oh, we don't list what. Oh wait, do we? Yes, number 20. We've done 20. We have 20 bonus episodes, and we got an episode on That's My Bush coming soon. Real quick, I'm just going to run down. Just you wait till That's My Bush. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right, I'm going to read off all of them real quick. We got Shrek. We got Shrek 2, Shrek 3, Shrek 4. Sorry, Shrek the Third. Shrek Forever After. Shrek the Turd. Puss in Boots. That's the entire Shrek franchise, minus like all the movies and the music, like the TV specials and the musical and all that stuff. Then we did Anomalisa, which great film if you've never seen it. Incredible film. Weird one for us to cover on here, but it's great. Almost feels like we should have covered that on the main feed. Well, maybe. I don't know. Paddington 2. Then we switched over to The Bad Bear, Ted 2. We went with the nicest bear ever, the meanest bear ever. Ted and Ted 2. Toy Story 1, 2, 3, and 4. All of the Toy Story tunes and shorts and TV specials. We did Fritz the Cat. The 9 Lives of Fritz the Cat. Cannibal the Musical, Orgasmo, Basketball, and we are in the midst of our
In the weeds.
in the weeds. We're in the weeds of our non-South Park Matt Stone and Trey Parker miniseries on the Patreon. Next week, you will get That's My Bush, a classic, a genuine classic that nobody knows about except for me. Nobody's obsessed with it except for me. And then after that, we're going to get Team America. We're eventually going to cover Book of Mormon when we can all get out to see it. And then, you know, we take suggestions. We hear what you guys want us to talk about on the Patreon, and we talk about it. So you can have a say in what we do here, which is really cool. So check out the Patreon. We love you guys so much. Thanks for all the support on American Dad. And let's cue the theme song.
All right. Fuck it.
I've been watching them for years, it's always been something that fit with all the animated characters that's doing their own bits. With a fry who's in the future and a family guy that sucks. With a father from a Hamburger family runs them up. The show inspires is the same guy, except he totally says and diverse.
Let's watch cartoons that
Yeah, that's bananas.
That's rough.
What the f is up, everybody? Welcome to Cartoons That Curse, the podcast about cartoons that say swear words, aka adult animation. You know the ones, all your favorite ones that are slightly risque, but really not that bad. Although some of them kind of are. This one, not so much. Probably the least risque of the shows we cover. Honestly, Bob's Burgers is very, very wholesome. I am Johnny. I am one of the co-hosts with my other co-host, Tariq. Tariq, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm excited to talk about Bob's in a season in which they actually almost say your name.
I wrote that down too. They did almost say my name. That tripped me out. I was like, dude, did not remember
that shit was weird.
I know. That was so funny.
'Cause
And I guess I haven't watched this since before I started my YouTube thing, even though like that was like, it's not like the name I came up with. I didn't come up with the name for the YouTube channel. It was like a thing that was in my brain and my life before that. So like, I don't know. This is funny. It was pretty funny. It made me laugh a lot.
It's so funny because this is like we off mic we were talking about D'Angelo, who hats off me, who runs Hats Off Media.
We like to call him Hats. It's our friend
I call him Hats to really piss him off or whatever. And there's an episode because I've been fucking watching Bob's Burgers for like the past 2 months, and there's an episode later where Linda says hats off to something, and I freaked the fuck out. Like, I was like, oh, hats.
But at least that's such a common phrase. It's a way more common phrase. Like Johnny Two something is weird. There is like, I think a rapper named Johnny Two Phones. Like if you search Johnny Two,
I think there's a Johnny Two Glocks.
Johnny Two Phones, musical artist, handsome man. He's I don't know. Maybe I should collab with Johnny Two Phones. Two Phones, Two Cellos. Are there any other Johnny Twos? I don't know. Johnny Two Broke Girls, Johnny 2x4. Who's Johnny 2x4?
Oh, that's from Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Is his name, Johnny 2x4?
Yeah, because he walks around with Plank.
That's so funny. His name is Johnny 2x4?
Yeah.
Wow, it's been right in front of me the whole time. That's so funny. My other favorite thing is about searching Johnny 2x4 is that there's a side-by-side of him holding plank, and also that photo of Ben Shapiro holding one plank of wood that he bought at Home Depot in a bag, which is the dumbest photo that's ever been taken of anyone. Shout out Ben Shapiro, you're a fucking idiot. Anyways, this is a great start to the pod. So many Johnny Twos. As you may have gathered, we're here to talk about Bob's Burgers. Bob's Burgers. Bobby. Oh man, we love this show. We've already done one episode about Bob's Burgers, about the movie. As you know, we got to see it early. We laughed our ass off. we laughed our asses off in the theaters. It was a great experience. So glad we got to do that. Season 13 is about to air in a few days. Actually,
13.
Pretty good timing there. Actually, well, I don't know. I don't know what day we're dropping this because we're late. Sorry about that. We're a little late. We both had a lot of stuff going on in our lives, and we've been a little slow on the draw for this last episode. Yeah, but if this is coming, this episode's going to drop right around the same time that the next season of Bob's Burgers drops. So maybe we nailed it. Maybe we nailed it. What do you think?
I think so, man. I think it's all working out. I think we're here because we're supposed to be here. We wasn't supposed to record it last week. You know? That's
right.
We weren't really supposed to.
We weren't. You're right. It would have been bad. Now it's going to be good. Yeah.
There you go. Exactly. It's in the cards. We're fresh. We're rejuvenated.
That's right. I mean?
Can we talk about how are you? Haven't seen you in a while, you know?
I know. Well, we actually already did this off mic. We really caught up. You guys don't get to hear that stuff. Okay. We don't get to talk. You don't get to hear the real shit that's going down with us. That's just for us. That's just for us. Anyways, it was very nice to catch up with you. It was very nice.
For sure.
Love talking to my friend.
Would have did it longer if we didn't have to work, I guess.
That's right. Honestly, we probably talked for an hour. We should have really started recording sooner.
Yeah, we kind of now I'm going to miss Abbott Elementary. It's all right.
It's all right. And I'm going to be late to my dinner engagement, but that's okay. Can we talk about how crazy it is that there's 13 seasons of Bob's Burgers? That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's wild. It's wild. I remember the fucking night this cartoon came out. Like, it's great. I remember when we saw the movie and I did the video on it. I got a comment from somebody. I don't know who it was. I got a comment from somebody saying that they hadn't seen Bob's Burgers since they were 6 years old, and I almost threw the fuck up because, like, how old are you?
I guess it's been on for 11 years now. That's insane.
It's just wild to think about.
I don't know how to wrap my head around it. I don't know how. I remember when this came out, I remember being like, that won't last long. As were most people. And then I remember, I think as soon as it hit Netflix, it must have been like 2013 that I watched it for the first time properly. A couple years after it come out, I sat down and I watched this season on Netflix. And I still remember the joke. I think I've said this on air before. I remember the joke that won me over and maybe like, okay, I'm going to watch the rest of this season. And then I watched. And then I remember in season 2, I remember the episode in season 2 that made me be like, oh, the show is great. Like this show is great. Or maybe it was season 3. Yeah. There's just one episode that is so that I remember being so good that I just like was like, oh yeah, this show is like in my permanent rotation now. But
I never thought about it, but I always did kind of wonder where that, because at a certain point around 2013, 2014, there was a fucking Bob's Burgers boom. It was like one of the biggest cartoons on the planet at one point. Bro.
Right.
Like, people were like obsessed with it.
I know, people were into it.
I didn't know where it came from, but now that I think about it, it came from when they threw it on Netflix.
Right.
The access to it.
That's literally exactly when I got into it. Because I didn't have cable at the time. I moved out to LA. I was broke. I wasn't gonna pay for cable. Who do you think I am?
Shitting me?
I can barely afford cable now. All right, and we're back. I don't even know if you guys are gonna know that anything happened. I'm probably making it so that you have to know because I'm talking Mikey, about it.
This doesn't belong here. Let's keep up the wall.
Mikey,
the immersion,
Mikey, leave it in. Mikey, leave this in. Mikey, leave it in. Mikey, leave all this in. All right. Sorry for those brief technical difficulties. We are back to start talking about Bob's Burgers. to begin our conversation about Bob's Burgers and its very strange and interesting production. At least its inception. Very strange and interesting.
Yeah.
So, when Lauren Bouchard pitched this show, the original concept was they're a family who cooks, they're cannibals, and they cook people into the hamburgers. That was the idea. And he really wanted to do it, and the Fox execs convinced him to drop that, which is like, yeah, did you really think you were going to get a workplace comedy about cannibalism on a Fox primetime animation slot? It's wild. But you can see how that led into the first episode, which is the whole premise is like how they're convinced that there's human flesh in their burgers, but like obviously things clearly maintained from this, like the fact that they live next to a morgue. I'm sure that was starting from the cannibal version of the show. It had to be. It had to be. So that's really weird. It's just weird. The show did eventually get picked up. They did a proof of concept. There was some slight changes, but it was mostly the same plot. The proof of concept has very weird animation style. It kind of looks like a mix between Home Movies and Bob's Burgers. Like imagine splitting the difference between Home Movies and Bob's Burgers, and you get this original proof of concept pilot, which is largely the same plot as the actual pilot, Human Flesh. The one big difference that everyone talks about is that Tina was a boy, Daniel Belcher. Daniel, which is played by Dan Mintz, so clearly the name just came from the actor's name, Dan Mintz, which is also just something that he did in Home Movies, just
like Gene.
That's right. Yeah, Eugene Merman. That's right.
Yeah.
and then also every character in Home Movies, every single one, John McGurk and Brendan Small and Paula and they're all named after the actors who play them.
Yeah, did you notice that is it the cow? The cow's name is Melissa?
Moolissa.
You're right. But yeah.
Come on, don't get it twisted. It's Moolissa. So the proof of concept clearly went over well. The Fox execs liked it. They picked it up for a 13 episode first season, I believe. And then it was on the primetime slate for the 2010-2011 season. Pretty much paired with, if I'm not mistaken, it would have been paired with, I guess just Family Guy and Simpsons and American Dad. Was American Dad still over there?
American Dad
at the time.
Yeah.
So it's those four. So. This is post King of the Hill.
Oh no, wait, wasn't Cleveland there?
Oh, maybe.
Wasn't Cleveland there? When did Cleveland show end? Is that like 2012?
Something like that. Cleveland show, 88 episodes. That always blows my mind. It ended in 2013, so Cleveland was there when Bob's began. Cleveland was there, and American Dad ran on Fox until 2014, so they were all there.
They were all there.
All of them were there. It was Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad, Cleveland show, and Bob's Burgers. Everything. That is wild. Time.
That's to even think about that too. Is this like the fucking sore thumb these early episodes of Bob's was in like the middle of all of that. You know what I mean?
I know. Which is I mean, like I guess people were never that high on Cleveland either, right? So like,
sure, but I mean, just like in the way that it like looked and presented itself, right? Like
totally,
it was just vastly.
You got three shows that look very similar in the McFarlane shows, and then you've got Simpsons, which has just like been there forever, and then Bob. It just looks. You're right. It looks a lot different, and now they have the Great North. They have two shows that look like this.
It looks different, but like it sounds different. Like
that's true.
The way they're talking to each other and shit.
It is more. It is more conversational. Is how I would describe it. And I guess the show did well enough that they kept picking it up. A lot of people were just like, "This will end. This will be done before you know it. This is going to be over ASAP." And we are 11 years later, 13 seasons deep, and a movie, a great movie. And this thing is just trucking along.
We all ate shit, bro.
I know. And it's a good show. It's a good show. And this is the first season. It's 13 episodes long. I like this first season. I understand why people were like, what the fuck is this when this started? And I still really like this first season. And there's like a few episodes in here that I really love, but I do feel like the show really found itself in seasons like 2 and 3. At least that's how I feel about it. But should we just dive in? Should we start talking about each episode?
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to talk about this. Like, I'm excited to talk about it. There's definitely some character stuff I like to talk about, but I don't know. It's such an interesting show. I don't know how to like dive into it like I do some of these other shows.
Yeah.
There's some funny stuff here. This first one's human flesh, as we mentioned. This is all like kind of leftovers from the original premise of them being cannibals. You've got this idea. So basically it gets like this rumor starts that they're thanks to Louise that they're cooking human flesh into the burgers at Bob's Burgers. And that really, and then like you got this whole aspect where Bob forgets the anniversary, and then like the ex Hugo, who's the safety inspector, and the health inspector comes in and shuts them down. It's interesting. It's an interesting episode. It's so funny that they like kept with the human flesh thing in the pilot after the original premise.
I thought it was a nice wink. Like nice, you know what I mean? Nice way to
but
say
like,
goodbye to that concept.
Right. Yeah, true. Did you notice? I'm not crazy, right? First of all, the font in the credits is different, right? The font is like the opening and closing credits is like it's different than it is now. It's similar, but not exactly the same. I'm pretty sure.
I think so. I think it like might be like bolder now or something like that.
Right. Do you also notice how the theme song is a little different in this season?
It's so fucking, that's like my first note is that the theme has like no flair. I remember when they changed the theme, but I forgot how it was before. Because
I didn't remember that they changed it. I just remember like how it is now is how I always remembered it. Like I just forgot that it was different. Yeah.
Yeah. The burger just kind of appears, and then the Bob like fades in, and then it's just like static poses of all of the family. And the version that we have now, it's like you fucking see the burger be made, it like falls, and then Bob holds it, and then like all the characters like doing shit to like show their personality before we pull out. Also, one thing that's in this theme that I kind of thought was a little annoying was the how it doesn't just fucking punch in and zoom in. It like stops on the fucking title for a second before it zooms right in. I was like, why the fuck did they do that?
Also, the song is a little different. Like the song is missing the nice ending beat where, because it's just kind of like ukulele the whole time, and then they'll be like da da da. It just does that over and over. But in the new one, it goes like bum 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 bum, and then it cuts into the show, and it's like that like ending like little wrap up is just missing. And it feels like I love watching the Bob's Burgers theme. It's one I never skip, and it just felt incomplete. Empty. Like I just was yeah, exactly. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? This is not right.
No, I feel that.
Yeah. I think this pilot does a pretty good job introducing like all the characters and their like the family dynamics. You get Louise, Tina, Jean, all of their personalities like in this opening scene are pretty thoroughly on display, and you get their dynamics. I love that one of the first things Bob says to them is, I love you all, but you're all terrible. I would fire all of you if I could. It's great. You're all terrible at your jobs.
Man, that's we talk about watching these shows and seeing early versions of characters. This is not the Bob I fell in love with, bro. Like he's so mad.
As the pilot, he is mad. Yes, that's true. I mean, granted, everything is a disaster in this episode for him. Like, it's all bad. You're right. They, but it feels like every other character is pretty spot on. You know, like it feels like they all kind of develop more over time. But like, I feel like they had a pretty good handle on these characters for the most part.
Yeah, better than a lot of other shows I've seen.
Yeah, for sure.
But I do like in a lot of a lot of these episodes, because one I guess you could say it's an issue that I have. It's not necessarily an issue, it's just an issue because there's so many. Is that a lot of like these shows have the husband kind of be like a man child, and the wife had to settle and like really like she has to put up with his stubbornness and his childishness or whatever. Like, and one thing I admired about Bob's Burgers is that Bob wasn't like that. He wasn't stubborn. Like he could be stubborn about certain things, but he wasn't like that. And in these, that's practically all he is. Like he is like that more often than not in these. And I think that's what, like, I just kind of was like, this is kind of tired. You see this in every other show. I like what they do with him, the subversion they do with him later. But
that's true. Like I did, like I wrote down forgetting the anniversary. It's like such a standard sitcom trope that I'm just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, okay. Like, we really doing this for the first one? It's like the most typical sitcom thing. You forgot the anniversary. The thing the Simpsons has probably done multiple times. But yeah, it's still like, I still feel like it does feel like they mostly have the tone down. Like I feel like the show really found itself and like exercised certain muscles and got really good at showcasing certain aspects of its like quirkiness. But yeah, there are definitely like differences here in the first season. Not as, I would say they're not as glaring as some of the other season ones we've watched, and in terms of how different it is than later seasons, right?
Okay.
Like, do you think, well, you disagree?
No, I don't. No. I was just saying, all right.
Yeah, the way you said okay, I was like, oh, okay, sure. Sure.
I didn't want to say yeah again. I wanted to switch it up, give him some other fucking words to hear me say.
Add some flair to your responses.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I do love, like, one of my favorite Linda-isms in this first one that is like very purely Linda to me is when she's convinced that Bob is pretending to have forgotten the anniversary. Where she's like, oh, Bobby, you're pretending. What's the surprise? What's the secret? That's very Linda. That's very funny. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's so like there's definitely like aspects of this where I'm like, oh yeah, they understood these characters to a degree pretty early on.
Sure.
Yeah. There are also other moments where, like, I know you're right, Bob is kind of a little more of a man child and he's a little angrier, but there are moments where I'm just like, oh, this is very Bob. Like there's the moment where he's so mad at Hugo, understandably, because Hugo's jealous about him being with Linda and he's shutting down the restaurant because of it, even though he could put a stop to it. And he's in that parallel parking spot and he's trying to get out, but it's really tight. And Bob's like directing him, even though he's like so mad at him, he's still directing him. He's like, all right, just get out, let me do it. He's like,
let me do it. It's so funny.
And that's very Bob, where I'm just like, he's like, even when shit's not going his way, he's like still just like kind of a good dude, you know? There's another example of that later in the season that I'll bring up later, but is there anything about this pilot that stands out to you? Anything like in particular that you think about this one?
Yeah, most of it while I was watching it, I was trying to figure out how the fuck do they like write this cartoon? Like, is it like how much improv is allowed? Like how much of the script is like actually there? Like there's that bit which is probably I feel as though a bunch of jokes they wouldn't do today about like the toothpicks on the ground and they're making fun of Tina and shit. Like that feels improvised. They're like it's like home movie throwback kind of shit. Like, and I am really curious as to like what exactly they do, because I had always thought that it was like loose, like, you know, there is a narrative jotted down there, but they're encouraged to like go off and do other things. But then they released that short with the movie, and
I don't think I saw that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I saw that.
Bro, the short, if you could fucking believe it, the short is somehow animated better than the movie. That shit looks fucking gorgeous. It's fucking
Cool.
gorgeous. I'll send it to you after this.
Yeah, please do.
But so that it was interesting to me because I saw the animatic for it, and the animatic for it has a bunch of scratch dialogue, which is just like the animators or whoever imitating Bob and Linda, and like they're like talking and they're like mannerisms and stuff. And I'm like, oh, so like that stuff is like really planned. Like that stuff isn't like, you know, and it wasn't short, so it probably is like a lot more fucking, you know, like it's probably more heavily written or whatever. And I'm sure it like evolved over time, just like home movies. I was telling my roommate about how like, you know, they would just, when they first started, they would just kind of like had a scene, and then they would just let them go. And then that resulted in was like, you know, shit we talked about where they had to like fade out scenes or like cut a scene at an awkward place.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, because it was just so much shit that they wasn't condensing it. And I just want to know how the fuck they do it. Like, what is this one? What is the process?
Well, I think I have an answer. It's like, because they talk about it a little bit on the Wikipedia page, and they've talked about it before. And also, I've gotten to go to a table read for Bob's Burgers before. Yeah, well, I've been to a Paley Fest table read, but that was more of a big presentation. And then I actually got to go to a table read at the offices. Wow. Like a friend of mine like won or like bid on the ability to go to one and could bring a friend. And so I have like a photo holding their Emmy, and like I got to tour the office. It was really cool. But it's so like, what interestingly, when you mentioned resonated, because when I went to the first table read, not everyone was there actor wise, and some of them were like some of them were piped in from like New York, so they were like doing the table read from somewhere else, and they were like virtually joining. But there were some people who played other characters, and so like it does feel like they still try to do all the mannerisms in the same exact way, even if they're not the actors playing the characters. Right. But according to the Wikipedia page, it says, first of all, so a lot of the actors have written episodes. Dan Mintz is like a writer on it, and John Benjamin's written some episodes. Oh, wow. Also, I guess what they do is they record everything as written. They record the whole script as written to make sure they have that to fall back on. And then later they do runs where they're just allowed to improvise and mess around while they do it. And then they decide afterwards what improvised stuff makes the cut and what written stuff makes the cut, if anything gets replaced or anything. So nice. Yeah, so it's like a good mix. They figured out a good blend between, which like kind of feels like what they started to do in home movies too, right? Like early home movies is very improvised, very like just very off the cuff, and then later it's like, oh, they've got a whole story here, but they're still like clearly riffing and just like doing bits. So I feel like it feels like he really carried that through to Bob's Burgers, which does give it like a sort of tone unlike any of these other adult animated shows. Yeah, like none of the other Fox animated shows feel like as almost like nonchalant as Bob's Burgers. You know what I mean? Like, and that's also partially because one of the things about this show is like how low it feels like. It feels like the conflict is never like huge. You know what I mean? Like there is conflict.
Yeah, for sure. Low stakes.
There's never conflict that makes me like anxious. You know what I mean?
You know what I was thinking about? It's the only Fox cartoon, like the ones that like lasted longer than fucking 3 seasons. It's the only Fox cartoon that hasn't like gone to space and shit like that. You know what I mean?
They're never gonna fucking do that.
But I think that's what's cool about it, is that it relishes in like the mundane and like the really low stakes, and that's what makes it like. And you know, and that what's cool about it is like stuff happening to these characters is like 50 times more tense than if it happens to like Homer, because of like all the shit that he's been through in comparison to them. Like when I was watching an episode where like Bob was kind of like they had like a turkey in the car. They were like it was like a live turkey, and they were trying to protect it, and they were like getting chased on the highway, but they weren't really getting chased. Like on if fucking Family Guy, it'd be a fucking chase on
Yeah,
one
a
of
full
those
on
shows.
chase scene.
But it was like a we're in traffic chase. Like
Yeah,
it was like
yes.
you know
That's
what I mean? Like very
That's
real.
like a good metaphor for the whole show. It's like they're in a chase, but they're still adhering to the rules of the road.
yeah.
That's the whole show.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so funny.
And I think that's what makes it cool, especially like since they put it in the middle when it airs. It's right in the middle of like Simpsons and Family Guy. And it's like not really like either one of those. It's like his own thing with like these characters that are very much cartoon characters, but also like real people.
Totally.
Yeah. Good shit.
I think my favorite scene in this pilot, other than I love the moment where Bob helps Hugo park or get out of the parking spot. I think that's so funny. There's this great shot when he's like thinks that he's gonna get shut down and he's gonna lose the restaurant, where like there's a leaf falling above him. It's like this overhead shot and there's this leaf falling, and then it's just him like talking to the restaurant and calling himself a failure. And I'm like, oh, this is very Bob's Burgers. Like this is Bob. Yeah.
That's in the,
I really like that scene.
That's in the test one too. I remember like,
oh, is it?
Like fucking word for word, shot for shot. Like even that shot you're talking about with the leaf, like that's in the test one too.
Love that.
It's cool how much shit. I don't think they fucking got rid of anything.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it seems like it was pretty fully realized, other than like they changed up the animation style, and there was things about the characters they wanted to change. Obviously the Tina situation, which was so smart. Like an overly horny teenage boy is boring, but a weird horny teenage girl is funny. All right, let's should we move on to Crawl Space?
Let's see, what I got anything else? Oh right, I forgot that after that moment that you're talking about, his kids lock him out. Which I thought that was crazy. I wrote that. Oh, you know what I wanted to talk about? And we talking about shit that like the show was fucking a little different. Louise naming that burger the child molester is crazy.
I know.
That shit is crazy.
There were a few of those. Yeah, I wrote that down. Yeah, that was the first burger of the day joke was the child molester. That was pretty nuts.
Sick.
There's a few things in this first season that like even this is 2009. You're just like, wow, these definitely like words and things they would not do even a few years later. Like there's no way. Yeah.
And the guy that plays Hugo is Fenton, which is funny, right? It's funny that that's Fenton. Oh, you never realized? It's the same. He does the same voice.
I didn't realize. Oh yeah. I just oh, that's so weird. I don't know why that didn't connect for me.
Yeah, that's Bren.
Bren. Fuck, I love home movies.
So the guy that plays Ron is Lynch.
Oh yeah.
Right. But what I also found funny.
Of course they are. Of course.
What I also found funny is that the guy's name is like the real guy's name is Ron Lynch.
No way.
It's crazy.
That's so funny. So his last name was, did they ever say,
I don't know.
His first name it's Ron. Wait. No, it didn't. That's just the actor's page.
Okay.
Nope. His character's name is Ronald Lynch in home movies. I don't know if they ever say it much, but that's so funny because they're just all their actual names. That's hilarious. I do not know how I never
you never put the Fenton and the Lynch together.
There's so many other voices that I'm like, oh yeah, that and that and that, and I don't know why I just like didn't catch those. It's so funny.
Man, it took me months to figure out that H. John Benjamin was Jimmy Jr.
Dude, he's so funny as Jimmy
He's
Jr.
crazy.
I love that. He has a few voices on this show.
He's like one Miss LeBomb.
Yes, exactly. She's so funny.
Yeah.
And you can always kind of tell when they just use a background. Sometimes they give them background characters, and they're really funny.
Always funny.
All right, let's move on to episode 2, Crawl Space. This was the episode, like, it's only the second episode, but this is the one that has the joke in it that made me be like, oh, I like this show. I'm going to watch the rest of this season. Like, after the first one, I was like, oh, I don't know about this. And the second one, I was like, oh, that is so funny that I'm going to devote at least my time to the rest of this season.
I don't remember the gag. I remember you telling me, but now that I've seen the episode, I would like to know if I laughed a lot when I heard the gag.
All right. It's funny because like I'm always expecting it now. It's the one joke I always remembered, so now it doesn't make me laugh as much. But like I remember at the time, it killed me. And it's when they're messing with Mr. Frond and like Louise has convinced him that Bob died, and all 3 kids are in the counselor's office, and he's like trying to work through it, and they tell Tina, and she's like, you don't know? He's like, oh great, thanks Mr. Frond, we were gonna tell her on Father's Day. Now we have nothing to do on Father's Day.
Okay, I did laugh
that joke. It like especially the way like how angrily she yells, nothing to do on Father's Day. It's so funny to me. I love that joke so much. And also just like that whole subplot with Louise like really messing with Mr. Frond is great, especially because that's David Herman, who is like the perfect sort of like overly neurotic, like attentive counselor character. Like he also plays, what's his name, in the pilot of King of the Hill, and he comes back, the
CPS.
Child Services. Yes, yeah. Exactly. And like he's just like that kind of vibe in those characters where they're just like overly analytical and overly concerned with this stuff, and anxious about everything. He just nails it. He's so funny.
You know, one thing I like about what they do with Mr. Frond is that like it is so easy to fall into the trap of the authority figure that the kids hate but the parents respect. It's like, nah, everybody hates him. Like the whole family doesn't fuck with him, and that's what makes it cool. I like that shit a lot. That's true.
That's a good point. I forgot how quickly they introduced Tina's like zombie thing. I think it was the second episode.
That's my first fucking note, bro. Like I was like, whoa.
And then like the way I love like the awkward moment where she's just like describing the dream, and she's just like, and they just like, come on to me, and then I make out with it, and everyone's just like waiting for her to say more. And just like she just stops, and then I make out with it. Man, so funny. There are some good jokes in this one. I love what's the book they're trying to talk about, where there's some book that they're talking about while Bob is in the wall.
Is it when Gene says to Arthur,
and he says it's written by Salman Rushdie, and he's like, it's not written by Salman Rushdie, Gene. He's like, yeah, it is. He's like, look it up, Gene. Like, I just did. It's Salman Rushdie. It's so funny. I love that so much.
I don't remember the book, but that bit did.
Yeah, I don't remember either. It's very funny.
Man, these especially with these first two, like I did want to ask you this, like, do you see why you didn't like this when it came out? Because I kind of don't.
No, I mean, I think that, well, this episode I really liked. This was the one that was like won me over.
Right, yeah, I mean? Sure. But okay, so backing up to the pilot, like, how do you feel about it? Like, in that context?
I like it now. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just like, but maybe that's like, maybe it just does. Like, I always give shows more than an episode's chance. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of, me too, yeah. There's a lot of shows where I'm like, oh, I didn't like this, and then I like the rest of it, and then I go back and rewatch the stuff I didn't like, and I'm like, oh, I like it more now. Like BoJack is that way. Like I still think the first 3 episodes are the worst 3, but I like them so much more now, given the context of the whole show, or given the fact that I love the show. You know what I mean? Like they set up so much important stuff. There's so much for me to appreciate in them, even if I think they're worse episodes. But I don't know. Like I think the show's tone is just something you're not expecting and not used to. You know what I mean? So like I was like, what is this? Like what is this show?
Yeah, I feel it.
It's got such a low-key vibe where I'm like, what am I even watching right now? And I think that had a lot to do with it in this first season. And I do think the show really finds, like, I like this season a lot. I think it finds it finds itself a little more in the coming couple seasons, but they're still, these are still good episodes. There's so many good ones in here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
I forgot that I forgot Teddy wasn't introduced in the pilot. He's in this one, and he's immediately funny.
He's like all soft and nervous and shit though. Soft ass Teddy. I wrote down when Linda says she's gonna call him, she calls him Teddy the contractor, and I just thought that was so funny because I was like, they don't talk like that about Teddy. It's just
how they they're introducing the character, right? Yeah, but he's just like, now he's like literally a main character. I mean, he's literally credited as one of the 6 main characters. When I interviewed the cast, he was part of that. He was like in there. Yeah, that's so funny. Man, let's see what we got.
Coochie Copy is this one too. The Nightlight.
That's right, Coochie Copy, the full-on Shining parody in the wall, which is great. It's so funny. Have you seen The Shining?
No.
Oh, bro, you got to see The Shining. Great film, really good. But the whole plot of The Shining is crazy. It's like it's this author going nuts at this hotel that he's like taking care of in the off season with his family, and then he just starts like seeing ghosts who are like trying to convince him to like do shitty things. And there's this whole part where his kid's got this ability called The Shining, where he can kind of read people's thoughts and not really understand that he can do it. And there's another guy who works there but isn't living there in the off season, who he's trying to bring in, who like the kid is like, God, describing The Shining is bizarre. He's using his Shining to try and call this guy to come save them, basically. And so like there's this scene where where Jack Nicholson's sitting at the bar, and the bartender's like, "Did you know your son is trying to bring an outside presence into the hotel?" Like to basically warn him, like, this is going to happen. You need to stop them. And that's what they do in this, where he's sitting at the bar talking to Coochie Copy, and it's as Linda's mom is trying to introduce like the tuna sandwich to the restaurant, and she's like, your mother-in-law is trying to introduce an outside protein. It's such a weird thing to parody. It's funny. I did a video years ago about all the Shining parodies in cartoons because there's so many. It's so weird. There's the South Park one and Nightmare on FaceTime. There's this one. There's obviously the Simpsons, The Shining, which is how I basically, a lot of I knew so much about The Shining because of that 11-minute parody.
Me too. I don't know how the fuck they do that, man. Like
literally, that movie is 2 hours long, and they like pretty effectively got all the major plot points of The Shining into an 11-minute parody. That is a masterpiece. Maybe it might be my favorite Treehouse of Horror. It's like top 3 or 5.
I think it's my favorite looking. That shit, the expressions on that shit is crazy. I love that shit.
When he's doing crazy.
No, I'm lying. The one with the best expressions is the fucking Dracula one. That shit is gorgeous.
That does have great expressions. I love that one. Also Homer making the faces when Marge has the bat and like, give it a bat, Marge. Give me the bat. And he's like, all the faces he's making there are so funny. Oh God, I fucking love that episode. We always end up talking about The Simpsons. I like how quickly they establish the bad puns for the burgers of the day. It's like the never been feta burger. And then she writes foot feta-ish burger, which is pretty funny. Louise is such she's always kind of a little bit of a terror, but like she they immediately make her like the child molester in the first one is crazy. The fact that they and it comes with free candy.
That's sick. You saw when they made it had like a lollipop sticking out of it.
Yeah.
Sick design.
So gross. Oh man. But yeah, I love Louise messing with Frond, like when she's like, let's have a seance to contact my dad, and she just starts like convulsing while holding his hand. She's like, it's so funny.
Oh, you know what what I laughed at a lot was Bob like helping Louise trick her friends into thinking he was a ghost.
Yes.
And,
yeah.
They're like, are you the dad from Ghost Dad? He's like, this what you want to ask a ghost?
Are you the dad from Ghost Dad? That's so funny. That is great. It's like that's one of the things about the show is like even when there's like all of these like these issues, and even if Louise is like messing with Bob or vice versa, like they're always just like down to like have fun and be there for each other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like even through the shitty stuff, or they're always like laughing with each other or laughing at each other, even when like stuff is stressful. They've always got these moments where they're just like like appreciating each other for who they are.
Yeah, and yeah. I love it for that. Like,
yeah.
Even we saw it in the movie, like a bunch of times in the movie. They're in like a really bad situation, and like Gene will say something, or like Tina will say, it'll be like one line, and I feel like a lesser show that would have took you out the moment. There's something would have focused on it or something, but something about the rapid nature of how these characters talk and how they all understand each other, and like if like Gene or Tina says something, it is very easy for Bob to just ignore it and like keep us still grounded in whatever the story is at that time.
Yeah, that's true.
I love that shit.
Me too. It's like, well, and it's just something that like I don't think any other show does other than this one. Yeah, that's what's great about it. Good stuff. Any other crawl space thoughts?
Yeah, so seeing Linda's mom in the crawl space was a fucking jump scare when she like walks when she's like Bob and he like freaks the fuck. It's so funny. Yeah. It's so funny. And then fam, when they you know what? All right, let me back it up a bit because this last note I took is it goes with what you were saying. You remember the part where Bob is like he's saying that he shouldn't have called. He came up with like this wild ass like nag name to call Linda in the earlier.
Oh, it's one of my favorite jokes in the thing. Nagatha Christie.
Yeah. And then he's like, I shouldn't have called you that. I should have called you something better. And then he's like, he's saying them, and then he says
Spiro
like,
Nagnu was the first one he says,
and the other one was
what was
like,
the one that makes her laugh.
It was the fuck. It was like It was like a position. It was like the head of
Secretary of Agriculture.
There we go. Yeah, there it is. There it is. And I like what I really like about it is that like she laughs. Yep. And like they still have that.
Like, all right, that was good.
He's not being an asshole. Like they're all having fun still. I like that shit.
Yeah, I love that. I love that moment because it is like it's like he's still doing the nag thing, but she acknowledges that it's a funny bit, and like, but the way even what she says right after, she's like, oh, that's a good one. Okay, that's funny. I'm not a nag though. I'm not.
And my last note, when them coming out the fucking wall was crazy. Yeah. Like my fucking eyes balls down to my head.
That's straight out of the The Shining, but yeah. All right, should we move on to Sacred Cow? We got a lot to cover. Jeez. All right, Sacred Cow. Love Paul F. Tompkins as the filmmaker Randy in this episode. Great guest star. Immediately laughed at like his whole thing being about animal rights and like not abusing animals, and then they're like, "Did you glue the wig onto the cow?" It's like, well, wouldn't stay on.
It would stay on any other way.
It's really funny. Man, this is like, I like this episode. This episode is kind of a weird one, but I like how the character stuff for Bob just like. I like how he shifts. Like he goes from just being annoyed about the cow and being like, stop, I'm gonna keep making making burgers, to like actually feeling really bad for the cow and like bringing it into his apartment. It's cute, it's funny. Also, Melissa is a funny
Melissa
name.
is hilarious. I think that shit is so funny. uh I feel like, okay, so there's that part of the plot where Bob starts to feel bad and he brings the cow in the house. And Linda is so mad, and I don't think she would get mad. I think she would be for it now.
Right.
Like, you know, or at least at the very least, like at a certain point she would get a little tired of it and like, well, Bob, maybe we should, you know, start thinking about what we got to do. Like, I think, but I don't know. I don't know if I see Linda getting mad at the fucking cow being in the house nowadays.
Yeah. I don't think I would either. I feel like she would be into it. You're right.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. I
This is the
like
first time
that
Bob talks to the meat.
That's right. First time he talks to the meat, which he does a lot over the course of the show. And I like that the ending is like, this happened. I feel like this happens so often where you feel like there's this one conflict and then all of a sudden like they never escalate that conflict. They only kind of introduce a new comparably sized conflict. You know what I mean? Like the initial conflict is like, Randy's messing with him and he needs me to decide if I'm going to like slaughter this cow or not. And it's like, okay, well then we bring him inside. Now the cow's stuck inside. What do we do? Like, oh no, the cow's inside. Oh no. And then the next one is like, Linda gets him outside and it's like, oh no, the cow's stolen. It's like, it's never like, it never seems to, those aren't bigger conflicts than the previous conflicts. They're just new conflicts. You know what I mean?
Like Bob being annoyed doesn't turn into this big fiasco and they're like at war and all of this shit.
Right.
Like it doesn't elevate to that. Or like the fucking cow being in the house, it doesn't like, the cow doesn't fuck the house up. Like it doesn't, you know, like it doesn't climb.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. It does pee in the living room, but that's about it.
As soon as off the walk-in, bro, like, and that was a lot of piss. Like Bob had to like move over and shit.
Yep. Yeah, it was gross. But yeah, I
this
like
show
that Bob
is
and
gross. A little bit.
It is gross. Well, every episode has poop jokes or humor. Like every episode. There's I can't if you find a single Bob's Burgers episode that doesn't reference poop, please write them in the comments. Like, please. There needs to be a list. It's going to be, if there are any, it's going to be like 5 or fewer episodes.
Yeah. Poop, farting.
Yep.
You feel me?
We'll count those at the same thing. We'll say poop and farts. We're in the same category.
Ass. Just ass. Yeah, you know what? Just ass. The show is really fascinating with ass. Whether it be Tina or Gene with farting and shit. Like, it's just a lot of ass talk. If you were ass man, I think you should watch Bob Burgers. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I wrote down this line that I thought was funny when Bob is hallucinating. He says that he's talking to the cow, and the cow says, "I'm a castrated steer," and Bob says, "So I'm a married man."
I'm a married man.
They share like that laugh.
Yeah. Same thing, right? Same thing, right? It's pretty funny.
And there's a moment here that like they almost did in the Simpsons movie, but I feel like they pulled out because it would have been too weird, and then they do
kissing spider pig, spider pig. Yeah. That moment in the Simpsons movie makes me laugh so hard. What if we kissed just to break the tension? Oh man. Yeah. It's like, I like the ending is funny. I like that they acknowledge that it's just Bob's subconscious dealing with his like feelings for like being sad about the cow. And it's just like her being, please make burgers out of me, Bob. Make burgers out of me. It's like, clearly it's just Bob coping with everything, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, the kissing the cow stuff is pretty funny. And then Melissa's the 100,000th burger. The rest in peas burger. Very dumb. The rest in
peas.
Very dumb. Oh man. Pretty good episode though. Do you you got any other thoughts on this one? I love Paul F. Tompkins as Randy. Great character.
Yeah, absolutely. I've said all my notes for this one. Cool. I like this one though. I do like this one a lot.
Yeah, it's a good one. All right, what's next? Let's go to sexy dance fighting. This is what I always think about with the season. It's like when I think about season 1, I for some reason I always just see Gyro doing the dance.
It's like an easy clip of animation to get burned into your brain because he does it the whole fucking episode.
Yeah, and just him yelling Brazil. It's so funny to me. There's another, like, the joke at the beginning where Tina's like depressed because like her crush moved away or whatever. One of her crushes moves away, and then like the first thing Louise says is, "Wow, you should probably kill yourself." That was crazy. That was crazy. Yeah. And then Gene is just like, "Yeah." Oh man. There's some great gags in this though. I love when like Linda's trying to defend Tina and just be like, it's gonna happen to you guys too. This will happen to you guys too. And then Louise goes, "Oh, sick! Shut up, mom. You're sick." It's super funny. But yeah, the dance fighting, like the capoeira, is so funny. It's such a funny thing to animate. I like the way he dances. It makes me laugh so hard. And the character's pretty funny too. Like when he introduces himself, he goes, "My name is Gyro," like gyrate. like gyrate.
Yeah, gyrate.
I love how offended he is when Bob says it's like jazzercise.
Oh yeah. It's so it takes elements from dance, but it's not.
But it's martial arts. It's like, yeah, I'm sure it's great, like jazzercise. Man, that's pretty. Oh,
there's a part I wrote this part where Tina's like really depressed. There's the part where like Bob is just like, "Tina, you're not groaning right," and like they're like trying to teach her, like the whole family is. Those are just the moments. Like those are the greatest. I wonder if that was written or improvised. Like, because was that like improvised because of the way Dan Mintz groans as Tino? Oh, it's so funny. I love Linda on the phone with Ginger. It's like, Ginger's cat died, but he died in a really funny way. He's like laughing about her cat dying. Like, and then later in the episode, she's like, I was thinking about Ginger's dead cat again. It's so messed up. But just like that idea that like, I'm laughing at your dead cat because it's like, they don't tell how. They don't say how. Yeah. They just say it died funny. It died funny, so I'm gonna laugh about it. I think that's really funny. Bob and Teddy get into an argument because Teddy says that Tina's turning into a woman, and like, it's like, "You think I'm missing my daughter turning into a woman?" He calls him like he calls him like a pervert. Like I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I love the weird little like Teddy Bob arguments. There's a good one in the next episode that I love. But like Teddy just like so oblivious sometimes, and it's so funny to watch Bob just be like, "What, Teddy, what are you doing, Teddy?" Oh man. Let's see here. Oh, like this is also the one where Louise just like invites Gyro over because she wants Bob to like kill him. She like is giving him with a knife, fully murderous. He keep
knocking Bob on his ass, and he shit himself, and then
that's right, he shit himself. There's the poop. There's the poop in this episode. He pooped his pants. Fourth episode, one of our characters has pooped themselves. But I love how this all kind of comes together, and it is more about Bob being sad that he's like missing out on time with his daughter, like he's now lost even though his father-daughter time was just them cooking or whatever, like making burgers and like working. He's just like sad that
he thought he would always have that. Like,
and then the idea, like, to realize that he's already missing out on it is it's nice. It's sweet. It always comes back to these just like sweet relationships. And that's what's kind of fucking great about this show. And also the weird, goofy, sexy dance fighting and him yelling Brazil. And the poop jokes. It's great show. You got any other thoughts about sexy dance fighting?
Nah, man. I only had 2 notes for that one.
Nice. Okay, I thought I was slacking.
I got healthy for the next one though.
Cool. I did okay on the next one. I really liked the next one. The next episode is called Hamburger Dinner Theater. Hamburger Dinner Theater. I love Linda. Linda singing everything. That gag where after she sees one of these shows, she just sings everything for a week is really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Eggs. Eggs. Eggs.
Because Bob is like, he's like, you're just gonna fucking sing everything. She's no, I'm not. Like she's like immediately gets into that bag.
It's really funny. This is the one that I wrote, like that even when the characters are annoyed with each other, they're just like laughing with each other and laughing at each other. Like they're like Bob is stressed about something and Gene says something dumb and he just laughs at it. And like it's just great. I love that they got those little moments in there. I love the scene where Linda is like trying to do improv with Bob and and like he immediately breaks the like number one improv rule. He's just like, it's so cold out, and he's like, no, it's not that bad. Like, he just immediately just he says doesn't no.
Go with it.
He
doesn't
funny.
Fucking go with it.
But that's like also a funny, like that's such a like meta concept is like improving. I'm sure they wrote it, but what if they were improvising bad improv? Like, what do you do there?
I feel like that's what that was.
Right?
I really do. I really feel like that's what that was.
Yeah. And that's like, you got to be a good improviser to improvise bad improv, because you all have to know the rules and why what you're doing is wrong. And then you have to play off what the doing is wrong in a fun way. It's like, it's just, oh man, it's breaking my brain a little bit. This one has that Teddy moment I mentioned in the last episode that I think is so funny.
When he can't shut the fuck up.
Yes. Oh my God. It's so funny. And the story he's telling is about a guy who can't shut the fuck up during a movie, who's answering his phone. And he's just like, literally will not shut up doing the same thing. Like,
Bob is like,
Teddy, don't tell the story. Please. Stop telling the story, Teddy.
He's like, please, the show is about to start.
It's so funny. Also just the idea, so like obviously the big twist where the robber comes in and robs the store, which like I think it's funny concept. It doesn't make sense that he's a bad robber to go into a fully packed restaurant, and rob it. Yeah. And like he had no idea the theater thing was happening. But I love like he's got this like Sinatra-esque voice when he sings. And it's just so funny. And the idea that he comes back because he loved performing. He loved the taste of performing. He's like, I got to do it again. He comes back to the scene of the crime to perform again. It's hilarious.
It's a sicko, man. It's a funny character, though.
He's such a funny character. There are so many good, quirky ass characters in this show.
Yeah. This is, is this one, right? Or is it the next one? Linda's hairdresser. No. Is that later?
Does she come in for this episode? Later. I think she comes in. Oh yeah, it's the next episode because of the. Wait, I remember her coming in the Lobster Fest episode.
You're right.
Did she show up or before that?
No, you're right. No,
okay,
you're right.
So that's later. She's great. She's so funny.
Yeah.
What is it, Gretchen?
I think it is.
Yeah.
That's the end of this one. Is I think the first like super like sweet resolution.
Yes, to one of these stories. That's what I wrote too.
Yeah, where he just kind of looks in himself and like finally, because that is, and I thought that was interesting too, how they just kind of like immediately get into that kind of shit. Like Linda, it's kind of like brushed off a little bit, but like Linda says in the beginning of the episode, like, I had to fucking to help you with your restaurant. I never got to do what I wanted to do. Like I want to do this. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy that they're like going into that kind of shit that early, and the fact that he finally realizes that at the end and like sees it in him, and to give her that like that happiness and like lets his pride down and like does the fake robbery thing to like keep it going.
And I think that's such a like important aspect of the show. It's like about the family getting out of their comfort zone to help each other. And like that's so like that's clearly what this resolution is. And also like I feel like that is kind of just a core aspect to how they write their conflict resolution in this show. It's really great. There's also one line delivery that I love. I just wrote it down. It's not even like a super funny line, but it's at the end when after the second performance when Linda's just kind of sad and she's like letting everyone out. And she's like, that's it. It's over. And he's like, what is this? And then this lady goes, I'll tell you what it is. It's garbage. Like the way she says it's garbage is so funny to me. It's garbage. It was such a good delivery. Man, good episode. Hamburger Dinner Theater. Yeah. I love Hamburger Dinner Theater.
It's a good episode. I like
great.
There's the I don't remember. Oh, because Tina has stage fright, and they're like showing examples of that, and like I love baby Tina just like when they ask her to say "mommy," and she just it's so funny.
So good, so good. They really did like figure out these characters pretty well, pretty early. Like, yeah, it's funny. All right, Shish Kebab Bob. Moving on to that one.
Great episode. This one is funny. I like this one.
It's a good episode. What a title too. Sheesh Kebab Bob. This is the first Jimmy Jr.
I
up, right?
I didn't get it until you said it though.
Really? Shish Kebab.
Yeah, now I get it.
Kebab Bob. They love their dumb puns in this show. love them. Okay, this is this the first Jimmy Jr. episode? I think it is, right?
Yeah. Yep. He doesn't exist before this.
Yeah.
Or Pesto.
He's so funny. Yeah, Jimmy, but like the restaurant, like Jimmy Pesto's restaurant was across the street and they talked about it.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt. Like I would imagine that like Pesto and Jimmy Jr. and the twins like were all in the pitch, you know.
Right,
like,
for sure.
They were all thought of before.
Man,
like this
Jimmy Pesto though, like did they replace the actor? Because it was Jay Johnson.
No, he just never talks again.
That's so fucking weird.
He just never said. I've been watching it. He just kind of.
He's not in the movie. Like
he is. He just doesn't say anything.
He just doesn't say anything. That's bizarre.
There's that. There's the coming from someone who's seen the movie 6 times. There's that shot where when the hole finally emerges and all the water shoots up, Jimmy Pesto comes out the restaurant, looks, and he like smiles. And that's kind of all you need.
Yeah, you can get a new actor in there. You can get someone else. Get a new Jimmy.
Can we have just like a 2-minute aside about how fucking bonkers that shit is? That shit happened in real life.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. I known that actor for years. He was on Mr. Show with Bob and David. He was one of the cast members on that. And he's so funny in that show. He was on Sarah Silverman program. He's just like been part of the like comedy scene, like that, like deeply ingrained in that comedy scene for years. And like none of them, like it feels like I think some of them were kind of like, yeah, he's kind of gone a little off the deep end, but like a lot of people were like, oh my God, Jay's at the January 6th insurrection.
He went hard. That shit was crazy.
Crazy.
Fam, they had like, it was like the pictures of him there was like surveillance shit. Like he would like, it was like some movie shit, bro. Like I couldn't understand. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I know. It's so bizarre. We're just like, all right, everyone, we got to identify this voice actor.
It's so, oh man. But you know, what I ended up getting out of all of that was it made me very happy that enough people knew this side character from Bob's Burgers to the point where he was trending.
That's true. Jimmy, yeah, like Jimmy Pesto was trending, right?
Right. it wasn't his name. It was just Jimmy
Pesto. That's so fucking funny. Also, Jimmy Pesto is such a good name.
Hilarious
Jimmy
name.
Pesto is hilarious so funny. I love it so much. Oh my god.
And he's just he's funny, man. Jimmy Pesto is so
he is a funny character, which is why I'm sad that he's like not in the show now. all of his whole family is funny. Like he's funny. The twins are so funny. The twins are also played by Sarah and Laura Silverman, Andy and Ollie.
I found that out too, which is crazy.
God, they're great.
You know, we talked about this before. I think we talked about it in the movie one. We were talking about Aziz because Aziz is Daryl.
That's right.
That's another one
DRL.
where Daryl just never talks again. He's never replaced. He just never speaks.
Yeah,
again.
they just doesn't talk, and then they brought him back. They were like, "All right, people are over this.
For that,
We're gonna bring
for
back
that
Aziz."
one line. I don't know.
Yeah.
I ain't seen him again yet.
I think he's been in episodes. Has he not? You've seen it all, huh?
Yeah, I haven't.
But it would be, but it's weird to like bring him back for one line in the movie.
I know it is weird.
You're like, we're gonna bring back Aziz to say one sentence.
It is weird. I think he might have maybe had more to say, and then he ended up on the cutting room floor with everybody else. Like,
right. It looks like season 11 is kind of season 9. He was in season 9, and then season 10 he has no appearances, and then season 11 he has 2 appearances that are non-speaking cameos. So it looks like there's like a couple years where they didn't bring him in, and then season 12 and the movie he's got at least a line. Some episode called Some Like It Bot Part 2 Judge Bot Day. I've not seen this one.
Finale.
Oh, it's the finale. Okay. Oh, it's a 2-part finale.
Right.
Oh wow, great.
Those episodes are great.
Guest
by
star
the way.
lineup. I think I need to catch up on the last like 3 or 4 seasons of Bob's. I think I maybe watched up to season 9, so I gotta catch up.
Yeah, those episodes are great.
Get back in there. All right, Sheesh Cab Bob. This is the one with almost my name, Johnny Two Jobs.
It's my first fucking note, man.
Johnny Two Jobs. Johnny Two Jobs. For a long time, I was Johnny Two Jobs. I was working my. Actually, I had a few jobs. I would work full-time jobs and do freelance editing and do my YouTube shit at the same time. And I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it.
Sounds like a lot of headache, but a lot of money.
Now, well, I guess I do 2 jobs now. I do my YouTube shit and the podcast.
You feel me?
Oh man.
I was talking to D'Angelo and them, and I said that because I was talking about like how I didn't know what I was gonna do my next few videos on or whatever, and then I was like, bro, I'm about to just fucking live off the podcast. Fuck this shit. I'm about to just live off cartoons that curse.
We got to if we can get some more patrons, we could do it. We could really do it. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. We gotta figure it out. I feel like we're doing pretty good. I mean, like
we are though.
We grow pretty well. Feels like our YouTube stuff does well. I feel like we can get we need some podcast network to swoop in and be like, we like your show, we like what you're doing, we're gonna buy the show and put a bunch of money into it. That's what we need.
Here's $6 million.
Yeah, perfect.
Fuckers.
That's exactly what we need. That'll happen. That's gonna happen.
Fuck it.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I just switched to our Cartoons That Curse YouTube, and it's making me like verify my shit right now. Sorry.
I hate when it makes me do that sometimes too. I hate that
why
shit.
Does it make me do that?
I hate it.
It's because I rebooted my computer. That's why.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, let's talk about this episode. Sheesh Cab Bob. I do love like Bob's relationship with all the like. They kind of don't clarify, like that's the one aspect of this episode that's kind of dated, is like, are these transgender women or are they drag queens, right? And they like also use some dated terminology, yes in there. Linda does that they definitely wouldn't have used, but like Bob's friendship with them is so fucking sweet.
Exactly.
Like, I love it so much.
That's what saves it, is that like,
yeah,
they might have got the terminology wrong, but like they're not like nobody, like they're not making fun of them. Like, they're, you know what I mean? No. Like it's none of that shit, which which is refreshing at the end of the day.
Yeah, agreed.
Especially since we've talked about like shows that came out like early 2000s, or even like later, and we just kind of go like, man, they shouldn't have fucking did this, so they shouldn't have done that. But they don't do that here.
Yeah, like there's a couple moments where like, oof, right, you did use the wrong word there. You're like, like, oh, maybe like there's the moment where Linda's like kind of mad that they like do you invite them to your daughter's birthday party or whatever, and it's like almost the implication is like that it's like dangerous or whatever, and I'm like, oh, they probably would have fudged how they worded that, but other than that, like they're like everyone loves them. Bob has a great friendship with them. Like they're just and they're just very great, sweet characters. They're really good. I also like that this is the first episode where we get like a lot of nighttime stuff in the show, and I just like love the nighttime palettes in this show. Like the color palettes are nice.
That
it's
darker
like
blue,
cozy. Yeah, it's just good, vivid, cozy vibes. I
have a timestamp here for the clip at the top of the pod.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Good.
It's,
I download that
because that's what this episode is. Tina wanting to have a birthday party, and Bob having to work an extra job to make the bread which is
an old Simpsons plot also.
Right. It's
Lisa's pony. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
So there's the Bob is like really sleep deprived, and he falls face first in Tina's cake. The way that shit is animated is hilarious. So I wrote that down.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. All right, I gotta get this episode. I don't think I have this one downloaded already. Let me look. I got like a lot of really random episodes downloaded. Nope, I don't have it. That's okay. The other one I do have Crawl Space downloaded. I could do them popping out of the wall. Here's
it's
Bobby.
So funny. It is funny.
I love I think it's so funny that Jimmy Pesto wants Bob's mustache. That's so petty. That's so messed up. He's like, just give me your mustache, Bob. And then also when he finally shaves it off, which is again Bob getting out of his comfort zone for his family. You know what I mean? Like it's just figuring out what the great core emotional aspect of the show is. Like how do they conflict resolute, and I loved it. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say some of these notes I have are just I don't okay, so I have no mustache, Bob is sick. But right above that, it's just a nasty design. But right above that, I just wrote diaper pesto, and I was trying to remember what that meant, but now I remember what it means.
Wait, I don't remember. What is it?
You don't remember? It's because the Bob's friends, they all like, oh, we know that nigga Jimmy Pesto. He be like wearing diapers and shit, and like shitting, and like you feel me? Like
I forgot about that. Oh my god,
it's so funny.
They say so many funny lines. Like I love like when they're like, we'll throw back a few beers and smoke some crack.
Fam, and then he died. Fam. Oh, that's okay. That's another one of my notes. This is the 4th cartoon we've talked about that tries crack. Futurama. They do crack in Futurama.
They do?
You don't remember the fucking crack mansion?
Oh, right. Okay. I'm thinking the of
characters
like
doing
characters.
Crack.
Yeah.
Wait, crack comes up in Futurama. Don't they do crack in Archer? That's cocaine, I guess. But
they're doing a lot of cocaine in Archer.
They're doing a lot of.
I don't remember crack, but they probably could have. It seems like they maybe
crack.
Did. Probably did crack in Archer. They probably did it. Yeah. Archer probably did crack. Family Guy. Well,
family.
We haven't talked about it, but
we
Family
haven't talked
Guy,
about it yet. But if you want to go to where we ain't talked about it yet, we could do Family Guy and American. There's an entire episode of American Dad where Stan is addicted to crack, and it is the funniest fucking episode of that whole show. Oh my
god, it's insane!
That shit is hilarious. So there's a lot of crack talk, man.
A lot of crack.
Why is crack talk?
Yeah, a lot of crack plots. I forgot that Tina and Jimmy Jr. kiss.
Yes,
they kissed so early. Season 1, they kissed so early.
His first appearance.
Yeah, literally the first thing, and then like everything after that is kind of like
and then
tumultuous.
That's what me and my roommate were confused because like he just doesn't give a fuck after that. Like,
right.
He act like he never talked to her before, and like everybody remembers it. Like somebody brings it up, like it's like, damn, you kissed him like 2 weeks ago, and you can't even talk to him now. Like, what the fuck is wrong with Jimmy Jr.?
Jimmy Jr. is a weird character. He's so funny.
He's a weird
God,
kid.
that voice is so funny. And like his dancing is so funny. The way they animate his dancing is so funny. God, I love the way Bob's Burgers animates dancing. It's so great. I want them to put together a just like huge compilation of all the reference videos they've filmed. Of the references. I want to see the reference videos they use to animate these dances. I want to see the people who work on the show being like, animate them dancing like this and like doing some weird like little jig. I know, what's her name? Who co-wrote the
Nora?
movie? Nora. Yeah, Nora. What's her last name? Nora Smith. When I talked to her, I asked specifically about that when I was talking about the Bob's Burgers movies, and she was like, I did send a lot of reference videos to Bernard and to Lauren with these weird dances. It's really funny. All right, should we move on to Bed and Breakfast?
Let's do it.
All right, man. I was like worried we weren't gonna have enough to say about the show. We're only like halfway through this season.
Damn,
you got time? Do we need to take a whole nother day?
Oh man, this is gonna be a nasty 3 segment. We're gonna
4 segment. Let's get through at least a couple more. But I don't know. I know you got stuff to do today, so I don't want to like sit here for another hour if you got stuff to do. So
we can figure it out. We got it.
All right, cool. All right, Bed and Breakfast. I love good idea, fun idea. Starting a bed and breakfast. And B, I just love how it doesn't. I love how mad Linda gets. It just doesn't fit her expectations for what her life as like running a bed and breakfast is going to be. Mm-hmm. That's so funny to me.
She starts to like put all this responsibility on all of the people staying there to like mingle and like have fun, but they just kind of want to sleep and beat it themselves because that's what like a vacation is, sort of.
Yes, exactly. It's like they don't want these obligations hoisted upon them during their little getaway, which I get. Man, there are so many moments in this that like I didn't write a bunch of notes for this one, but there are moments in this that I wrote down that just make me laugh so much. Like I love the scene where they're all in bed together except for Louise, where everyone's in bed. Louise still has her room, and just like Gene like putting his feet in Bob's pants to keep his feet warm, and then also just having 2 drumsticks to eat.
The drumsticks is just that's what killed me. It was the drumsticks.
The line that I laughed so hard though when they're like talking, they're having a whole conversation, and then Tina just goes, "Dad, are you still awake?" After they're talking, he was like, "Yes, Tina. Like what do you mean? We're just talking." And she goes, "Do you think that horses get songs stuck in their heads?" A perfect Tina moment. I think that's a perfect Tina moment.
For sure.
I love it so much.
Man. Speaking of the show being gross, there's that part where Bob showers in the sink at the restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
That might be the grossest thing in this whole cartoon. I was like, that's nasty. He's a nasty man.
Yeah, they do some like gross-ish humor. Like obviously there's a lot of poop and fart jokes, but like even just like the body stuff. Like there's like Teddy in this one with the swollen face because of the Beatles, pretty gross. But I laughed really hard when he walks out and he has all the Beatles on his face. And they're like, "Oh my God, Teddy, you have all those Beatles on his face." He goes, "I do. I haven't looked in the mirror yet." Such a funny line.
Like when his like face is fucked up and Linda's like, "Yo, you good? You need anything?" And he's like, "No, I'm all right." And then she's like, "You sure we can just get you something to eat? You want something to eat?" And then he's trying to ask for a bacon burger, but like,
they're playing charades.
Burger. Like she can't understand it, and then like they all come in and the thing I like about it too is that like I think any other show would have like. They would have did a couple gags where like people try to guess and they guess wrong, and then they just would have cut. They do it until everybody gets it.
Until they get it. Until they get it right. It's so funny.
It's so funny.
It's so funny. I love it. And then like even when Teddy joins the house and Louise gets so mad about about her room getting taken. Like I don't know, she's just got such a like such funny mannerisms and like attitude. Like I don't know, it's hard to describe, but Louise when she's mad is so funny. It's a good episode. It's a funny episode. You got any other thoughts on Bed and Breakfast?
No.
All right.
The only other note I have is Linda is the worst because she is the worst in this one.
Yeah, it's true. All right, let's move on to Art Crawl. I love Art Crawl. Art Crawl, I like this great. One. Yeah. I love the opening where they're just walking down the street and just like hating on all the art. I think that's really funny. It's a very loose definition of art. It's really mean, but it's just like it's like such a goofy family activity. Like let's go walk and make fun of all the art.
I like when they go into this spot run by the old people, and they're like not trying to let the kids in, and Bob says, "Are you a bouncer? Are you gonna bounce my kids?
Are you gonna bounce my kids?" Yeah, that's so funny. That old couple who run Reflections, they're the worst. Oh my god, they're like so perfectly obnoxious. They're like genuinely like, I feel like I get more irritated when those characters show up than any characters in the show. But they are very funny. I think it's really funny and kind of wild that like Fox approved of the animal anus art episode. Like, yeah, it's funny. It's very funny, but like, I don't know. I'm just surprised that they're just like prominently showing off anuses. And that is like the conflict of the episode is like literally censorship. Right. And that's kind of funny. It's like, it would have been funny if Fox censored this episode, even though it's about censorship. But it's also the first Gale episode, right?
Yeah. Yep.
God, love Gale. Megan Mullally, incredible performance as Gale. She's so funny. There's some good lines in this. Also, first Andy and Ollie ep, right? I think this is Andy and Ollie's first ep.
Yeah, and they do that really weird title card in the next one. Like, you remember that?
Oh, I don't remember.
When they show them on screen in the next one, there's like an arrow pointing to them, and it says like the Pesto twins. It never happens again in the show, and it was so
weird,
fucking bizarre.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Especially they're acting like this the first time we see them, but the first time we see them is here.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
That's really funny. Maybe these episodes got reversed. Actually, let's look. You said the next episode, Spaghetti Western and Meatballs? Is
it the next one?
Oh, Burger War is the one.
Burger Wars, probably. That's what I'm thinking of. Yes.
Burger War was written as the third episode and was aired 10th. So that's exactly why. Yeah.
Whoa. So that means the first time we weren't supposed to see...
We were supposed to meet Jimmy Pesto third, like really early.
We weren't supposed to... I'm thinking about we weren't supposed to see Jimmy Jr. for the first time because it's Tina.
That's right. You're right. Yeah. That's a good point. That's really interesting. They mix up they really fudge up the order of the show. I've talked about this before, but like season 1 was 13 episodes. They jumbled it all up. Fox tends to do that. Season 2 ordered like 22 episodes or something, and then they aired 9 of them and said, all right, let's call it. That's season 2. Fox was like, that's season 2. And then every season since has just been like season 3 is just a mix of season 2 and season 3 production episodes. Season 4 is a mix of season 3 and season 4 production episodes. Like it's just like, it's so jumbled. Like it's
it
not
still
even
like that?
I think they've like finally caught up. Let me look.
I'm about to say that's sick if it's still
it looks like they caught up on the last season that was like a mix. Whereas the last ones were season 8 and 9. Season 9 is mostly production season 8 with a single production season 7 episode. And then season 10 is all production season 9. Oh, there's one production season 9 episode in season 11. But the rest is production season 10. Same with season 12, one holdover.
So now there's like
which is like
one holdover,
which is like standard like Simpsons style.
Yeah,
like, where there's generally 1 or 2 holdovers and that's it.
Sure.
But literally for years it was just like a mix. Like season 3 is almost half and half. Production season 2, production season 3. It's weird. It's like
That's
annoyed
it.
me forever. I don't know why that annoys me so much, but it does.
Because it's I don't know, man. I'm not the most organized person on the planet, but like you gotta have some symmetry, bro. Like I don't know.
Yeah. And they're
That
still
kind
and
of
they're
shit
still
messes with my
jumbled.
brain.
They're still like jumbled episodes. They still are out of
Out of
production order. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's how they've always done The Simpsons. It's weird. I don't really think about The Simpsons like that, even though that's like the case for the show. They jumble it out of order. They also like have holdovers from previous showrunners in later seasons.
Mhm.
So there's like, and that's the weirdest one for early Simpsons, where there's
like
showrunners.
Yeah.
Like the most infamous.
Certain episodes will end with a different name. Like
Yes.
his executive producer. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The most infamous one is it's ironic because so many people attribute the Scully era of the show to being like the beginning of the end of The Simpsons, but then they also attribute it.
That one.
They attribute it to The Principal and the Pauper, which is a fucking Weinstein Oakley episode, and also a funny episode. Fuck, I thought we've gone on this rant before.
It is.
It's a fucking good episode.
It's a funny episode of T. Sure. What do I like what they do with Skinner? Not really, but it's.
I don't hate it. I don't know. I just don't like. It doesn't like. I don't know. It doesn't.
It doesn't break the fucking cartoon. Am I a fan? I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but it doesn't break the fucking cartoon. You know what I mean? Like it's still.
Especially a show, and especially now in retrospect, a show that has been on for 33 seasons so far, and has genuinely like just like continuity isn't super important to a show that's been on for that long. It's like, you know what I mean? Like there are certain aspects of continuity that I like that they keep, but yeah, you can't. You just have to change it up and you have to tell new stories. And you know what? Like why I don't know, being beholden to continuity in a show like The Simpsons feels silly as shit to me.
It doesn't matter anymore. You gotta unless you pick a year and say that they live in this year for the rest of the fucking run, it just is never gonna make sense.
Right.
There's no way they went to fucking high school in the 70s now. No way.
No. I mean, and they've done an episode where he went to high school in the 90s. Like, they just change it. It's fine.
Yeah.
And people say that's ruining the show. I'm like, no, it's the only thing keeping the show alive. Oh man. All right. Well, also like the latest season of Simpsons fucking rules. I kind of wish we had done a like, let's just talk about the newest season of The Simpsons episode of the podcast just because of how fucking good it was.
I mean, we can.
We could. Season 34 starts soon. Like on Sunday. Soon.
And they already put they just took all of 33 off Hulu and threw it on Disney Plus.
So everyone can watch it. Maybe we should do that. That might be fun. Jim's just threw up 2 season 33 episode videos. He did Boys in the Highlands, and then today he posted Pixelated and Afraid. I haven't watched Pixelated yet. Shout out to the real Jims.
Before we got in here.
Hell yeah, was it great?
Video. Yeah, good video.
I love those 2 episodes. Those are probably my 2 favorite of the season. I love them so much.
There's
I like the Bleeding Gums episode too, even though it's Al Jean, my favorite Al Jean episode in so long.
There's some episode of this podcast that has me like begging you to watch Pixelated and Afraid. I don't know what episode it is.
Yeah, I know. I think we've done it
recently. I remember it recently.
We've definitely sang the praises. It's a good season. It's a tough one though. If we'd cover, it's still 22 episodes. You know, that would be our first foray into a huge season.
The big joint, yeah. Well, since Futurama, because them shits was like 26.
No, we never did 26 for Futurama. We did.
We didn't.
We did. No, 26 are the Comedy Central seasons, production seasons. But we can split those in half because those were aired 13 at a time. I think that's pretty easy to split in half.
Okay.
But
Art Crawl.
Let's get back to Art Crawl. Okay, so one of those jokes that I laughed at a lot was Gene telling him about his friend. It's like, you can't have a 28-year-old albino friend.
Ken comes back for a good portion of the show every once in a while. And Gene go like, I was talking to Ken, and then Bobby like, oh, how's he doing? Yeah, all right. Like,
I love it. I love that so much. I just laugh at the whole idea here that Bob hates the anuses until the old people tell him he can't have them up. And he's just so stubborn. I love that aspect of Bob where he's just like, you can't tell me what to do with my store. Only I can tell you what to do with it. It's very funny. It's very funny. Oh my God, I laugh so like this. There's another aspect. There's another moment in this episode where it's like Bob, even when he hates someone, is just like such a good, kind guy. And it's when the old guy is like choking and he's just like, do you need water? We'll get here. Have some water. And his wife is like, no, he'd rather die than drink your water. It's so funny. The best scene in this is the Dumbo scene, though. The Pink Elephant Dumbo parody with the anuses.
Oh shit! How did I forget about that?
It's so cool. Oh my God, it's so cool. Well animated, really, really well done. Trippy as hell. That's such a trippy scene in Dumbo too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Who says
Bob
this?
He's just fucking losing it the whole episode, man.
I know.
He's like fucking. He's off the walls here.
I love that the resolution. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I think my last note says, "What the fuck is wrong with Bob?"
I love the end when when Louise is like, she's doing this scam where she's just making art and getting money, and she pays for like the stuff that Bob ruined or whatever. She's like, starts giving him the money. She's like, Louise, where did you get all this money? And she's like, just shut your mouth. It's our crop. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
But where did you? It's like for fucking 45 seconds. Like they go back and forth.
It's so funny though. I love it so much. Great episode. I love Art Crawl. I think this is a really funny episode. It's I like this one a lot. It's just like a good Bob episode. Bob like having conflict with people in this to this degree is funny. The anus thing is funny to me, and also just I like when they showcase what the wharf and like neighborhood is when they've got like events happening. I like that about Bob's Burgers. And like they have the Lobster Fest one later. I don't know. I like when the community is like part of the plot. Yeah,
I feel that.
All right, should we move on to Spaghetti Western and Meatballs, which is another fucking great title?
Sure.
God,
that's one that I did get. And it is a great title.
Great title. It's like, and like the core conflict here is that like Louise likes her time with her dad, and then Jean interferes with it, and like she doesn't get her time with her dad anymore, and that's sad.
But you know what it is too is like. What I really like about this one is that it's not even just her being mad at Jean. It's like it's both of them, because sure, like Jean interrupts on the stuff with Bob, but like there's that scene where she's in a lunchroom and she's trying to joke with Jean, but he's busy doing the shit he learned from Bob, the Western shit with the guitar and shit. And like she's like actively trying to get his attention and she can't get it. And it turns into this thing where like she just feels like the two people that she felt like she could spend time with and really relate to in her family, she can't do that anymore because like they found each other. You feel me? And like they kind of like left her out of it. And that shit is cool. I think I think it's cool that they did that.
I agree. I love that aspect of this conflict a lot. I also just love like I love Louise and Bob's like solo time, and then also Bob and Jean's solo time. Like they're all so charming, and like they're just, their dynamics are so cute. And I love that Bob finds this thing that he loves for him and Jean to do. And also like I'm obsessed with the concept behind this spaghetti western. Banjo, a guy who's like got a banjo gun. Like that is so fucking awesome, funny to me. Yeah. I had two huge laughs in the middle of this episode where he they finally, when he's like, what's Banjo's rival's name? Ceviche. Ceviche is such a fucking funny name for a villain. And then also that Gene is like, is my rival, my nemesis is named Choo Choo. And then all the scenes where he like finishes his jokes before him are they're so funny. Just Gene getting
sick.
so upset.
Yeah.
Man, it's great. It's great. And the ending is so nice. I love them all trapped in the slide, and like they're like kind of coming to their resolution where like Louise is telling them how it made her feel, but they're still all connecting and bonding, and like he still has a connection with Gene, and like he farts and they're just like, our farts smell the same. and then like he still has the resolution with Louise. And then the joke that made me laugh a lot at the end is like, well, what are we going to do about your mom and Tina? And Gene goes, they can live in here with us. That's really good. And yeah, that's like Louise crying about it. And it's sweet. It's a sweet episode. I really like this one. It's really like this one. You got any other things about this one you like?
Why did I write this? Do they have a big argument? I wrote, this is the maddest I've ever seen them at each other. I don't remember them being mad that much, but I guess they might have an argument here. I also have
it must have been Bob and Louise. Like it had to be, right? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a when Gene is like trying to confront the bully, and then like they just kind of like get into it a little bit, and Bob steps in and like grabs him, and then his daddy pull up and he like, you touching my son? Like, and then like he like takes his shirt off. He's fucking
everyone's taking their shirts off. It's so funny.
He's fucking jacked, and then he says the most threatening line. I'm not like a tough guy, but I like to think that I'm not scared of nobody. But this would fuck me up if somebody said this to me. He said, I'm gonna beat your ass so bad I could skip the gym tonight. What the fuck does that mean?
That's a great line. No, he's gonna get such a workout kicking your ass. That,
how bad is he gonna good, fucking?
I kind of love it. That's. I think like everyone taking off their shirts to fight is really funny to me. Like the kid Choo Choo doing it, Gene doing it, and then the adult doing it. I don't know. That's just always been a funny concept to me, is like somebody taking off their shirt before a fight. I don't know why that's visually so funny. It's like in the Losing Edge, one of my favorite South Park episodes of all time. There's just that where it's like Randy would do it every time he gets in a fight with anyone. But there's that one moment where he starts arguing with one of the dads, and he tells him to shut up. And Randy just like slowly takes off his shirt and puts it down and just goes, what are you going to do?
What's up, bro?
So funny.
What's up?
It's so funny. Why is that so funny? It's so stupid.
Wait, what do Linda and Tina do in this one?
Oh fuck! What is their subplot? I wrote down
maybe they get mad at each other.
Oh, maybe. Let me click the. Let's see.
And plus, one of my notes says "mean Tina" with a question mark, and I don't know what that means.
Oh, so probably it's probably about them.
I gotta stop making notes that like I get in the moment.
Oh, it's the spaghetti dinner thing. I guess the spaghetti dinner conflict, they're supposed to make the spaghetti dinner and something with Mr. Front. I don't remember this at all. I do remember the part where he goes, do you want to see my abs? Because it's his acronym. Access your feelings, be apologetic, and slap it. Abs. Do you want to see my abs?
He's the worst.
I don't know. I guess I didn't like think much about the subplot here.
Yeah, me neither.
I was watching a lot of these in succession, so like I maybe missed I maybe was like my brain was real focused on the A plot and not the B plot for this one.
Sorry to everybody that really loves the B plot.
We're so sorry.
Sorry, guys.
We'll do a follow-up episode called Oops All B Plots.
That's disgusting, man.
All right. Should we move on?
Wait, there's one last thing about this one that really made me laugh, and it was when Teddy tells Bob that he used to beat up kids like Gene.
It's really funny. Really, really funny.
Oh man. That's it. That's all I got though.
All right, cool. Let's move on to what was supposed to be the third episode of the season, Burger War.
Shit. Look how fucking far it is, bro.
I know. What is this, 10? It's crazy. 10. They moved it all the way to 10. So this makes so much sense. It also is literally, I kept thinking how they describe fish odor at the beginning. And I'm like, this feels like they're introducing fish odor, but we've already seen him. And it's like, this is literally them like introducing him. This was supposed to be the introduction of fish odor, of Jimmy Pesto, of Jimmy Jr., of Andy and Ollie. That's so interesting.
Yeah, okay. It makes sense because they treat fish odor with kind of like a, yeah, they do treat him like we've never seen him before. Like, yes, it's like a big deal that he's coming. Like, you feel me? Like, it's, yeah.
They just fully just describe him and who he is and what the point of, like, what his relation to them is. And we've already seen him. We've already seen him. That's so funny.
The one thing about this episode is that it's a very interesting, it's a very interesting instance of foreshadowing because, in the movie, the movie starts out with them needing extra money from the bank. Yes. So what they do is they make him a burger to bring. So maybe that could
they always, that's like their move. They always make burgers for people. God, it's making
they do it here, and that's why they fucking thought they could do it in a movie because it works here.
Right.
It works on fish odor.
So funny. One thing, and so you know what, this makes more sense now realizing that this was supposed to be the third episode, because they don't do it like a ton overall in the season, but in the first few production episodes, I think they do so many gags that are snap zoom music stings. You know what I mean? Like, snap zoom on the characters, which I do think are funny. But in the first episode, they have the one where Gene is putting out the fire with the extinguisher, and they just keep snap zooming back into it. And I was with
the music sting too, like the same fucking sting.
And I was like, well, this is funny, but also, very not Bob's Burgers. Like, this is just such a different gag than you see later in the show. But yeah, something I noticed that they just did that a lot in these first few episodes. Mm-hmm. Or I guess in this first season, but what were supposed to be the first few episodes.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah, I guess it isn't around, like a couple episodes later, it is kind of dropped, and it's wild that it just happens to come back here.
Right.
But yeah, that's why, because it's fucking out of order.
And then there's like, I think the opening when he chokes on the burger, and then they as a family save his life. He spits it out, and the first thing he says is, "So did you like it?" That's crazy. That's so funny to me. I can't believe they did that. There's a lot of funny jokes in this one. Like, I love like that Linda wants them to throw her ashes in Tom Selleck's face when she dies.
Yeah. Right. This is also where Linda says that she thinks Jimmy Pesto is handsome. It's over there with his fucking handsome face. What, you think he's handsome?
Yep. You also learn his real last name. I think it's the only time they say it. Poplockovich or something. Yeah. I love the scene where Jimmy Pesto's like really sad making the burger at night, trying to make his burger. Yeah, it's really good. And I also just love that, like, even though there's this rivalry between the Pestos and Bob, or like Jimmy Pesto and Bob, like all the kids just hang out. They're all friends.
They don't give a fuck. Yeah,
no, they don't at all. They're just homies. It's great.
I like when I don't remember the complete context of it, but I just know Jimmy Jr. offers up. He says, put on some Boys to Men and I can slow dance. I don't remember what the situation, but the fact that Jimmy Jr. wants to fucking slow dance the Boys to Men is so funny.
I love Jimmy Jr. so much. He's so funny. And this is another one where his dancing is so funny. Mm-hmm. God, it's just, and this is supposed to be his introduction. It's so interesting. That move where where Bob handed out all the flyers for like 50% off, and then Jimmy does we honor all our competitors' flyers is brutal. That is like a masterful troll. Holy shit. That is that is diabolical.
He's a sicko, man.
I know. It's like that Mitch Hedberg joke where the Pizza Hut honors all of competitors, all the competitors of coupons. And he's like, it makes me want to open up my own pizza joint called Mitch's Pizzeria, and with one free pizza franchise with the purchase of a small pizza. Oh, I love him. Mitch, another guy who's in home movies. You went back and watched those scenes, right? After I taught you about Mitch.
I did. That's so funny. I just feel like, and I feel like he would have fucking been here, bro.
He 100% would have been a recurring character in Bob's Burgers. There's no question about it. Yeah, he is genuinely one of my favorite comedic voices ever.
So funny.
So funny. And also that was so satisfying to have told you a single Mitch Hedberg joke when we were hanging out. When we were hanging out for the Bob's Burgers movie too. It was perfect.
We were in the line at a bar. And you said one joke, and I thought it was the funniest shit. And then
we got home kind of drunk that night, and I was like, "Hey, we're gonna watch the Mitch Hedberg special." And it's just so satisfying that you loved it as much as I love it. It feels so good.
Bro. It's so funny.
So good. One of the funniest men of all time. Rest in peace.
For sure.
Okay, so I love. This is another one where. This is the one where he's making the most difficult burger known to man, right? It's like the steak, the
Messiah.
Yeah. Wait, what is it called?
It's
a Messiah pun, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't remember what it is. I don't know. Wait, let me click Burger War, see if I can find it.
There was like calligraphy of it, like above the stove.
I know, he had like his whole. I don't remember. That's okay.
Is that right?
The word. Oh no, meat saya. The meat saya.
The meat saya.
And it saves the day. It's the thing that saves the day at the end.
It does save the day.
He's like, "What is this?"
That's what they should have fucking made in the. Wow, you see that fucking sunshine?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
Sun-kissed face.
You must be definitely on the opposite side of your house than me, because mine was shining in earlier.
Oh, okay, so it came over here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But yeah, like that's what they should have did in the fucking movie. They should have made him the meat side in the movie.
You're right. That would have been a nice throwback to the third episode they ever wrote. The joke that made me laugh really hard in this episode is when they're playing music at Jimmy Pesto's restaurant, and Gene gets out the triangle. He goes, "Time to tickle the iron." That's funny to me. Because tickle the ivory is like the piano phrase, but tickle the iron, he's just holding up a fucking he's holding up a triangle. It's good stuff. All right, you got any other thoughts on Burger War?
Nah, man. We could take it to
all right.
Weekend at Mort's.
Weekend at Mort's. Let's see here. Weekend at Mort's. Funny. Sorry, I'm doing my ranking as we go through here because I forgot. Weekend at Mort's is great episode idea. So it's like they get, what is this one? They get the mold and they have to stay next door.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So they have to stay at Mort's. And like, I like the idea that they're just like worried. They're like, oh my God, having to live in a morgue. They have to live in a morgue when you're next to a restaurant. Wait, what was this joke? Oh my God. There's a joke where Gene says something and Bob's like, don't tell so-and-so this, like, Gene. And he goes, let the man think for himself. I don't remember what he says though. Fuck, it was so funny. So funny.
Yeah, I know. I remember Gene saying, I remember that delivery, but I don't remember what the lead up to was.
I like.
This is one thing I noted was that I guess I didn't know that Mort lived there.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't really realize it either. But also, like, Bob and the family live above the restaurant, so like it kind of makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I forgot about that because we don't really go back to Mort's all that often. But I laughed really hard when they walk in and realize that it's really nice. And all the kids just immediately start jumping on the couches. I love how just like how quickly they're just like they just start bouncing. It's really funny to me. My favorite joke in this episode is Bob pulling out the bus from Speed model and trying to build it. And she's like, have you ever seen Speed? He was like, no, I don't like to see the movie until I finish the model.
Yeah.
That is so fucking funny. That is so fucking funny. That is one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
I was trying to remember what this was, but I remember what it is now. I wrote Jimmy Pesto was going to hell, and I was like, damn, why did I write that? And it's because this is the first time in the show he does it, but he does it later too. Is he wears that fucking Rasta shit when he comes back from Jamaica?
Yeah.
He's a sicko.
That whole thing is like I like when they're at the bar or they're at Jimmy Pesto's eating, and Linda's like, oh, Bobby, it's our song. Because our song isn't ZD Tonight. ZD Tonight. Also, like the climax of this episode where they almost kill Bob is crazy. They just straight up almost fucking burn him alive. That's nuts. Man. That's like maybe the most intense conflict the show ever gets is like Bob might die. Other than like in the movie, they're all in they're all in the hole, you know, like, yeah. But that's nuts. That's crazy.
Hey man, listen. You know who did it first though?
Simpsons did it do it first.
The Slacker Cats.
Let's
fucking talk about it. They do in the first fucking episode.
legendary series, Slacker Cats.
Shit. Come on now, let's.
Hell yeah, you all love that. Don't lie, you love that episode.
Yeah, come on, man. Just don't forget. That's all.
I love how like I love after his near-death experience though how amped up he gets. He goes, "You don't just build a model of life; you watch the movie of life." It's great. It's a great line. It's so funny. I also love like I wrote for the end credits. Like it's crazy how quickly they just they write little dumb little songs so fast for this show. Yeah, man. Which actually makes me mad. I years ago was gonna buy. There's like a Bob's Burgers vinyl with like so many songs, like this huge collection, and I didn't buy it, and I bet it's so expensive now. What's the big one? Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Damn.
I'm gonna buy it anyways. I'm gonna just do it. Oh, and they have a volume 2 now, and I didn't buy that either. God, I'm really blowing it. I
ordered a Bob's Burgers fleece blanket yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. Can't wait till it gets here.
I can't wait to see it. You should show it on camera.
Yeah, I'll wear it for season 2. I'll wear it like a cape for season 2. Okay, so I'm dying to know why I wrote this down. Maybe you can help me out. If you can't help me out, then it's just gonna have to be somebody in the comments. Okay. I wrote Bob let Keanu Reeves talk him into an early grave. I don't remember what that means.
I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was talking to the little Keanu Reeves model from the Speed bus. And so it's definitely something to do with that.
I think that's how he ends up that's how he ends up in the fucking in the thing, not coffin.
Right, in the
that's
coffin.
How he ends up in the coffin. Right, yeah. Okay. Sure. All right. That's funny that I worded it like that, but okay. Right.
I know.
It reminded me when he got into it. It reminded me of King of the Hill. Hank and Peggy, when Hank was building the coffins, and then Peggy was like, "Why the fuck mine look like that?" Right. And they had to switch.
Man, I gotta find this stupid Bob's Burgers vinyl. It feels like really hard to find now, and I feel like I'm gonna end up spending $1 billion on it. What a shame! Man. What a real shame. I found volume 2. I should probably buy that. There's a deluxe set for volume 2. Nice. Why didn't I buy this years ago, John? What are you thinking? Come on, what are you even thinking? I probably couldn't afford it at the time. Couldn't afford it.
That'll stop me from a lot of things that I probably should have brought.
Right, yeah. Well, it took me a lot of willpower not to order the third set of Super 7 Simpsons figures before I've even gotten wave 1.
When can you order them Troy McClure's? Because them shit's hard.
Looks like they are available. McBain is in low stock, so you better get it. You can get the whole
the rabbit.
Oh.
The Troy McClure ones, the
Troy McClure ones.
Yeah.
Oh no, I missed wave 3. I really fucking blew it. Damn it.
Rats.
Wave 3 is Burns, Wig, Ralph, King, and Kodos. Doing King and Kodos is a little lazy. I'm sorry, Super 7. Shit. Man, regrets. I'm trying to get rid of stuff. I can't do this. I can't do this to myself. Oh well. Anyways, let's keep going. We're almost done. We're getting close here. This is a long episode. This is gonna be a long episode. You're welcome. You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah, right. Around here is when we thought we was gonna stop, but we still got 2 more fucking episodes.
We got 2 more episodes. 2 more. I don't have that many notes for these last 2, but let's do it. Let's go to Lobster Fest. You ready? Lobster Fest.
Lobster Fest.
Okay. Lobster Fest is the hurricane episode. I like so many things do hurricane episodes. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, especially this was a couple years after. Is it? I actually don't know if this is
2009. So I don't know. Was it before or after this crossover?
Yeah, the Seth MacFarlane thing, right? Yeah. I don't know what year that was.
Maybe they just did it the same week and they weren't a part of it. That would be funny.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you say this is 09?
Yeah.
I think the Seth MacFarlane thing is 2011.
Oh, that's so funny. So
because it's season 10. It's season 10 of Family Guy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the first Gretchen appearance. I love, the joke that made me laugh really hard at the beginning is Lobster Fest gets canceled. Someone comes into the restaurant to eat and he goes, "You got food? Yep. Beer? Yep. Atmosphere? It's so funny. And then this is the first Gretchen appearance, and it's like also like Bob wingmanning Hugo.
I love it.
So funny. I love it so much.
It's funny. It's wholesome. Like he fucking hates him, but
I know. But he's just helping him out.
Like I don't know.
Bob's just a good
like the only
boy.
show that can do this.
He's just a sweet man.
Yeah.
Sweet man. And I do love Bob for that reason. And then I love that he just gets fucking trashed and gives away everything. It's funny to see Bob wasted. I think my biggest laugh is he's like celebrating. He's like, everything's on me. And then they start like crowd surfing him across, and he sees Linda and she's all mad. And he goes, "Oh, hey, Linda, you look mad. Let's go the other way. Turn around. And they spin him around. It's so funny. I love that so much.
It's so funny. One thing we didn't talk about at all, but I made sure I noted it here because this is when I noticed it. Those 2 cops. Those 2 women cops are like regulars this whole season.
Yeah, they're in it a lot.
Yeah.
And then they later bring in the sergeant is like the main cop who's played by
Bosco?
Yeah, Sergeant Bosco, who's played by someone great.
I always forget Buddy's name. I know his voice like the back of my hand, but I always forget his name. Sergeant
Bosco. I'm gonna feel so dumb for not remembering. Oh, Gary Cole. It's Gary Cole. He looks like Gary Cole. Yeah. Gary Cole is great. I
think the 2 cops were fun though. I wish they kept them.
Yeah, they are fun.
Yeah, I think they're fun. They could have kept them, and they could also because they're the ones that like every time the robber comes back to the store a couple episodes ago, they like keep entering like as he's exiting, and Bob's like, "What the fuck? He just left. Like, you're bad at your job. Go get him."
That's so funny.
And then fam, and then they catch him, and then she just starts fucking wailing on him.
I know. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, they're really going for the cop experience here.
True to reality.
Yeah, it's like this is a funny episode. It's just like Bob being a nice guy and then getting screwed over, and that's like kind of that's Bob's Burgers a lot of the time. But I love the like the end. Hugo not helping Bob after he wingmans him is so shitty. Fucking Hugo is such a little asshole. And then there's that like wingman song that Ron Lynch starts singing to him. That is so funny. Yeah. I love that song so much. That. I think that's super funny. Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't write that many notes for this episode, but that stuff all stood out to me as hilarious. Yeah, it's a good episode.
There's the earlier in the episode where they're still establishing that Bob just doesn't fuck with Lobster Fest or whatever. Like, there's that part where the kids, they're all like looking at they're looking at like the brochure or whatever for it, and then Bob's like, "What are you looking at?" And they're like, "Oh, porn." And he's like, "Oh, wait." He's like, "Wait, no, that's not porn." Like, he's like really chill about the fact that it's porn, but then when it's a fucking broshure,
he gets mad that it's a Lobster Fest.
Yeah,
that's so funny, so funny. Yeah, this was supposed to be the finale. This was written as the 13th episode, and it kind of feels like it. Like it's got the whole community involved. It's like a conflict of like Bob's Restaurant versus a community thing, like with first Lobster Fest messing him up, and then like also just everyone in town screwing him over and having this like big climax at the like Lobster Fest or whatever. So like I get like this is like that makes sense as them having written this as the original season finale. I think it's a pretty good episode. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't dislike any of these episodes. That's
me neither.
I'm having a hard time ranking them.
I'm looking at what my
like that looks too low,
is.
But also I like everything above it. Yeah.
I'm looking at. I can see my list down here, and I'm looking at my number one, and I'm like, yeah.
I know. That's how I feel now. I know. I don't know where. Yeah. It's weird. All right. If we talk about the last one, Torpedo.
Yeah, let's go to Torpedo. Let's kill it.
Torpedo. The first joke I laughed at is when he's like chastising Gene for like peeing in the burger suit, and he's like, "It smells, Gene. People can smell it." And he goes, "No one can place where it's coming from." That's such a funny line. Very gross.
Super gross.
I laughed really hard. Like I like when Bob finds something that he loved as a child. Like the banjo thing was that, and then like him seeing Torpedo Jones, he's like, I was at his game with the pitch, you know, like he's got this connection to Torpedo Jones. Yeah. And then at the end, or not at the end, I like when he goes, "Wow, Torpedo Jones called me sport." He goes, "He didn't call you sport, he called Gene sport." It's like Bob just wants that.
And then Torpedo says like, "Nah, sport was for the kid, Flash."
Yeah.
He calls him like Flash. And he's
Flash.
Like, yeah. he's like, "Don't call me dad anymore. Everybody call me Flash."
The scene that makes me laugh the hardest in this episode is Gene not remembering the name of Bob's Burgers, the restaurant. And Bob just yelling, Gene, are you kidding me?
It's Bob's Burgers. It's so funny.
It's Bob's Burgers. It's so funny. It's so funny. Like anytime you've got John Benjamin like freaking out like that, it's very funny. Yeah. I love it so much.
I love Linda says that she already has Bob's tombstone picked out, and he's like, really, what does it say? And she said, "Order up," and he like laughs. He's like, "Okay, you know what? Leave that. That's funny."
That's pretty fucking great. I love also the concept of him using the burger grease to throw a spitball is fucking great. That's genius. Yeah, that's so funny.
I didn't expect that was a turn. Like I was genuinely like surprised. Like
right.
You know,
it's a really smart idea. It's really funny. God, talking about the show makes me want to eat a burger.
Oh, bro, I'll kill a burger right now.
Right? Yeah, we should go get burgers after this.
Yeah,
I also love Tina just slapping ass the whole game. Like she's just slapping everyone's ass on the team. She's like, that's what I love about the game, slapping ass. Also, there's a great moment at the end where like they think, what do they think? They think they're gonna get divorced or something, and Gene goes, "I call mom," and Lise goes, "I call dad," and then Gina just goes, "You guys took both of them." so funny.
It's hilarious, man.
I love it so much.
Man, there's that sick ass part where Bob tries to talk Torpedo out of cheating, and then he starts fucking shooting at like one of them. Like they,
I know, he literally starts shooting him.
Fucking shooting a gun at Bob.
It's crazy.
Like, whoa,
it's crazy.
Whoa. And also,
man.
Wouldn't be me if I didn't talk about the hammer. Fish show that had the hammer out. They didn't show it.
Oh, that's right. You forgot to zip up. And then Bob's just laughing. He's like, yeah, you did. You did forget. It's really funny. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't have more. I don't know much more about Torpedo. This is a good episode, though. I like it a lot. I like all of these episodes. It's a good show. It turns out Bob's Burgers, good show.
Good show.
Good show.
Good first season.
Good first season. One of the better first season. Well, I don't know. I've liked all these first seasons we talked about. I really like first seasons, I guess. Like, I don't know. There's just something about them figuring it out that I love. Like, you know what I mean? And like, I don't know, like, because I love the Simpsons season 1. I loved watching Family Guy season 1. That was fucking, was just so satisfying.
I love those.
Oh God,
I love those, man. Well, I wasn't too keen on the South Park season 1s.
Yeah, me either. And King of the Hill I liked, but it was one of those where I was like, I like this, but I don't love any episode. Yeah,
sure. Yep. Yeah, we both
love that show.
Agreed on that. But
what you got any thoughts on
this bunch? This is definitely at the top, I think. From this bunch that we've been doing,
it's up there for sure. It's really great. Really like it. It's gonna be weird when we cover season 2 because season 2 is only 9 episodes, and then we get to do 23 episode seasons. Fun.
Nice.
But man, this was great. I'm really glad. Like when I was watching it, I was like, man, what do I have to talk about with Bob's Burgers? And after this, I'm like, I had so much to talk about with Bob's Burgers. There's so much to say. What a lovely, charming ass show. I love it so much. I think this is a great first season of television. Yeah, it's really good. Really good show.
No, I agree. There's a little of like, especially I was looking at my notes, and so many of my notes are just like, wow, Bob is really mad. And I'm realizing that like there's a little of that I guess that King of the Hill where like they kind of start out with angry dad.
Yes, or for sure. They always start with a little.
In this case, he's like in this case, I guess like stressed out dad. He stays stressed out though. He never is not stressed, but
right.
And his stress comes out through anger here, and I think they find more ways to channel it. Whether he like it'd be like anxiety or like he just gets like really nervous or like, you know what I mean? Like they go that route with it later.
Totally.
To play with it.
I love how it's like, yeah, you see kind of like it reminds me of BoJack in a way, in that it's like they thought they had to do things that other adult animated shows were doing. Like, so in BoJack, they're like doing the goofy cutaway gags and the crude humor. And in this, they're doing the like, oh, but Bob's kind of the angry dad, and like they have these specific dynamics that we've seen in all these other shows, but they definitely like figure it out this season. There's so many moments where you then see what you know of Bob to be true the rest of the show, you know, where he's just like, yeah, he's never like that mad. He can get upset, but like, I don't know. It's like it feels like Bob's anger very rarely overtakes his love for his family, you know? Yeah. And that's like the conflict. Like it's always the conflict is like, he doesn't want to be mad, right? Like he's like, this sucks. I hate this. Yeah. Good season of TV. Yeah. Should we do our rankings?
Let's rank them, bro.
All right.
Let's rank them bass.
Wow. I'm looking at my ranking and I'm like, this is weird. Because even the 13th one I like. That's fucked up. Here we go. 13 is Human Flesh. I think it's a good pilot, but it's on the bottom of my list. I think this season's good. 12, Burger Wars. 11, Sacred Cow. 10, Sexy Dance Fighting. 9, Lobster Fest. 8, Bed and Breakfast. 7, Torpedo. 6, Weekend at Mort's. 5, Sheesh, Cab Bob. 4, Spaghetti Western and Meatballs. 3, Art Crawl. 2, Crawl Space. And 1, Hamburger Dinner Theater.
So this is by the time you hear mine, you're gonna realize why like I kind of made a face when you started yours.
Yeah.
Okay. So 13, sexy dance fighting. 12, burger war. 11, bed and breakfast. 10, weekend at Mort's. 9, lobster fest. 8, art crawl. 7, torpedo. 6, sacred cow. 5, spaghetti western and meatballs. 4, hamburger dinner theater. 3, sheesh, kebab. 2, crawl space, and 1 is human flesh.
That's so funny. But you know what's funny is like when I started to read this off, I looked at it and I was like, why is that at the bottom? And I'm like, I don't know. I just like, I don't know. Maybe I also did this while we were going. But
Likewise.
I don't know. It's I don't know. I like that episode a lot. It's not my favorite of the season, but I do like it. That's so funny. This is just a good season. Like, there's no episodes I dislike in this season.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not even sure if like that. That's why I'm like, damn, is human flesh really my favorite? Like now that I think about it, like it
and
might
I'm like, is it really my least favorite?
Yeah, because I'm like, damn, it might fuck around and be hamburger dinner theater. To be honest with you, like or something like that, you know. But these were the first impressions. I wrote this because I do the ranking while I watch the episodes, so I'll go like, no, I like this better than this, but not as much as this. So then I'll like put it there. Like that's how I do the rankings when we do these. So this is like, these are literally my initial thoughts.
Good shit. Good episode. We have to figure out what the fuck we're doing next. Isn't that great? There's no more season 1s for us to do, huh? We're not going to do BoJack. We got to figure out BoJack later.
We could just evade all of our responsibilities and do like the critic or like the Boondocks.
No, we gotta do the critic.
Like we just fucking ignore everything.
After Simpsons season 3 and 4, we do the critic because we do the Gene Reese
That's
stuff.
true. You're right. We did.
I like that plan. I don't know. Part of me is like, do we take another hiatus and do we do season 2s? People have been requesting that. People have been like, I liked the season 1 thing. Why don't you do all of these again in season 2? Which I don't hate, but also like, I feel like I end up talking about a show and being like, God, I want to do the next season so bad. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then we end up waiting so long. But these are going to be big episodes because we just talked granted, we did a lot of tangents at the beginning, but like this is a nearly 3-hour episode about 13 episodes of Bob's Burgers. We did a 3.5-hour episode about 13 episodes of The Simpsons. We can't help ourselves. If we're talking about 22 episodes a season, we're going to have a hard time. We got to figure it out. So we should discuss this week. Please let us know what you guys want to hear show wise, and or like, would you mind if we took another hiatus to make sure we could bank these? Cause these are going to take so long for us to do. Cause we have to watch 23 episodes per episode. Yeah. It's a lot. The Patreon, obviously we'll keep up on the Patreon. If we did that, but we exhausted all our season 1s, and now we're like, all right, now we have to do all the hard stuff, all the stuff. We've also got to, granted, we don't know when it's going to air next year, but we need to go back to Futurama before the new season starts next year. So we're going to need to do, and that'll be 4 records because we'll have to do 13 episodes at a time, basically, for the Comedy Central years. Maybe we should do that. Maybe. I'm not opposed to jumping in, because then that's 13 episodes at a time. Those, and you know, like maybe that's the move.
I might have just talked myself into a
Futurama miniseries, and also I do kind of miss those early days of us, just you and me talking Futurama. Like, let's throw it back, and then like we'll probably be doing it around the same time next year for the next season. So it'd be kind of nice to have like once a year we do the Futurama thing. And our Futurama episodes also do very well.
I think maybe we should. I don't know.
Well, let's talk about it. Let us know what y'all think, and we'll figure it out. Let us know on the Patreon. Let us know in the comments. Let us know on Twitter. Let us know, I don't know, anywhere else you can or feel like it. You got anything to plug, Tariq?
Of course not.
Watch his Family Guy videos. They're great. They're fucking great. Get them the bag. Man. They're great videos. Okay, I don't really have anything to plug either. I'm doing a lot of Rick and Morty right now. Go watch those. I'm going to do a Tuca video. Hopefully I'm going to write that today and get it out this weekend. I got a whole idea and here. It's going to be great. Okay. And with that, thank you to Carrie Feek for our amazing artwork. Thank you to Jake Neutron for our incredible theme song. Thank you to Michael Yunez for producing and editing the podcast. And we sincerely apologize for all the technical difficulties in this episode, Mikey.
Sorry.
It's going to be a pain in the ass, and I'm very, very sorry. And thank you to Tariq for co-hosting with me every week. Thank you to all of you for watching and listening along. Thank you to our patrons, they're cursed ones, for paying us for bonus episodes. You guys are the greatest. Thank you to Bob from Bob's Burgers. And,
thank you especially.
We love you all. And with that, thank you very much. So,